and forever remembered. Once-in-a-lifetime winners, unrivaled dynasties, singular stars.
This time I'm going all the way. It's a deep drive down the right field line. That ball is gone. This time I'm going all the way.
And unpredictable outcomes.
Cinderella wins the national championship.
Only 2 teams remain in Omaha. They have enjoyed their journey. More importantly, they have earned it.
This time I'm going all the way.
But to be remembered, they still have further to go.
This time I'm going all the way.
Only then will they be home. Coastal Carolina, Arizona. This is the 2016 College World Series, Game 2.
What a night, and will we see a champion crowned Omaha, Nebraska as you take a look at TD Ameritrade Park, home of the College World Series, where the fans of both of these teams and baseball fans from all over the Omaha area come to watch. Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, take on the Wildcats of Arizona. Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. You could not ask for a better night for a baseball game. Coastal, the first team to reach the finals in their first appearance. They've never been here before. The last team to do that was Georgia Tech in '94. And Arizona was here in 2012. They won their 4th, and now, after a small drought, they're back trying to win their 5th national championship. Welcome alongside the now famous bird watcher, Eduardo Perez and Kyle Peterson. We'll hear from Alex Cora and Kaylee Hartung in a moment. We'll check the birds as well. But this has all been about pitching and defense. If that wins championships, there's a good chance Arizona will do so if they keep doing what they've done, Kyle.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing how good they've been on the mound and defensively throughout this entire College World Series. No pitching staff has a better ERA than Arizona. It's 1 through 6 games, and the starters have been even better. The starters' ERA, a .66 through their run through this College World Series, and defensively the team has been about as solid as you can possibly be. It's one of the keys to their run all the way through here in Omaha, Nebraska. And tonight, the starters, Kevin Ginkel, we have not seen in a starting role yet in this College World Series. Mike Morrison, we haven't seen in a starting role this entire year. Morrison, the starter for Coastal Carolina, and Ginkel, a guy who can run it up to mid-90s. For more on Arizona and behind home plate, let's go down to Alex Cora.
And Kevin Ginkel needs to stay with the game plan, keep the ball down and change speed so this defense can do what they've been doing the whole week. Sergio Brown, who's the defensive instructor of this Wildcats team, he gives the signs. The middle infielders, they look at the cards and they go into different positions. But one thing they've been very consistent is catching the ball and turning ground balls into outs. You're going to see them up the middle, in the holes, getting ground balls, throwing to first and turning them into outs. But now the outfielders, they joined the party yesterday. They were playing deeper than normal. They made a few plays. And now defensively, this is the best team in this tournament. If they keep doing this, they got a shot to win the game today.
They sure do, Alex. Thank you. That catch by Zach Gibbons at the wall last night against Coastal, likely a home run in most every other ballpark. And for Coastal, they hit home runs in just about every ballpark. They had 94, now 95 with 1 here. But if they're not hitting home runs because the park won't let them, how else do they win?
Well, this is a diverse team, a team that knows how to win. They can beat you in so many ways. A team that can beat you with small ball or not. But again, a team that won the Big South, they play well, they play together, and most importantly, when they did go to the regional in Raleigh, they ended up winning that regional, sweeping LSU then in the super regional in a tough, hostile environment, and then coming here, beating the #1 team in Florida Gators and Texas Tech, and then twice against TCU. And if they're going to want to do it, they're going to need offense. They moved Michael Pies from the leadoff spot to the 2-hole, getting him back comfortable. He needs to be productive, needs to start spraying the ball all over, and the middle guys, Connor Owens and GK Young, boy, do they need to hit. And if they do so, then it's a different story. And let's take it down to the field and see what Kaylee has for us.
Well, Eduardo, Arizona didn't know who they would be facing on the mound until official lineups were posted about an hour ago. But this Coastal Carolina team was told last night in a team meeting back at their hotel, after that Game 1 loss, that their closer, Mike Morrison, would be their starter for the first time this season. I'm told the reaction among the team was stone-faced nodding because of the confidence and the trust that they have in a young man who they believe has given them everything he's got with every trip he's taken to the mound in 4 years.
All right, Kaylee, desperate times, desperate measures. Gilmore goes with the guy he believes is the best option tonight. A closer is going to get a start, and will start right after this. Play by Zach Remillard. And he makes the catch at the wall. What a performance from J.C. Clooney.
Series is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase everywhere. And in part by the Subway Sandwich Shop. Fresh is what we do. And Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline for the best total engine protection you can get.
We are set. This is game 2, best of 3. As you take a look at the two coaches, two very different coaches as far as their years of experience with their schools. Coastal, Gary Gilmore, 21 years, and Jay Johnson, 1 year with Arizona. Our Capital One batting order for the Chanticleers, who will bat first tonight.
And we keep the focus on the 7, 8, 9 hitters. So far in the last 4 games, 12 for 37, 7 RBIs. If they are going to be more productive, the 4, 5, 6 guys in the lineup, 0 for 10 yesterday, they better turn it on.
Want to face Kevin Ginkel, a big right-hander that from a stuff standpoint has the best stuff on Arizona's club. The fastball can get into the mid-90s. He's pitched twice already in this College World Series. Both times came out of the bullpen. Best start of the year was against Arizona State when complete game gave up just 2 hits. Fastball up to 97 in that one. As the fastball goes tonight, that's how far Ginkel will go.
Anthony Marks leads off. He's been batting second the last couple of nights. The first pitch is in there at 93 miles an hour. Bobby Dahlbeck, the third baseman, is in on the grass in anticipation of a possible bunt. Marks tends to go the other way when he hits. And Ginkel on the mound was recruited to Nevada by Jay Johnson when he was there. Johnson leaves to go to Arizona, and he needed to get Ginkel out of the letter of intent, and he was able to do that, and he followed him to Arizona. Once again, the shadows an issue for the hitters early in this game, starting an hour later than we did last night. Ginkel's framed in that box right there with the sun. It's a little different velocity than we've seen.
You know, it's strange. You talk to Dave Long, the pitching coach from Arizona. His fastball literally would be from 89 to 97. You don't see that variance too often. But has the ability to run it up there. That would look like it. Oh, yeah, I got the knob of the bat. I thought I got the front shoulder first at Marks.
With 2 strikes, that happens, I'm jumping up and down. Really crazy. That's good velocity, tough to see. Hits the knob, but sometimes takes an actor to get on first base.
Yeah, Marks wasn't in the acting mode. Marks is the straw that stirs it all for Coastal, and early here at the World Series he was hitting leadoff, then went to the 2-hole, then he went back to the leadoff spot tonight. There's been a couple of other moves within the lineup for Gilmore, trying to reignite this offense that came in with all those big numbers. 94 home runs, amongst the tops in the country in steals, sacrifice hits, sacrifice bunts. On the ground to third, Dahlbeck feels it and fires across to first for the out. Well, if nothing else, Marks got his lineup pitches to see. So home runs, stolen bases, sacrifice bunts, top 10 in all categories in the NCAA. I'll bring up Michael Pius, who's the shortstop. When the season started, Gilmore knew this was one of the guys, the shortstop, had to improve his offense a little bit. And this one is sent in the air to right, and it's very playable. So as those two guys go, this team will go, and they've both made quick outs.
I do think tonight, I mean, Coastal's a very good fastball hitting ball club, and that's exactly what they're going to see from Ginkel. We've talked plenty about the shadows. Obviously, I mean, this is the toughest time of night there is to hit for probably another half hour. But I think they're going to get good swings off of him tonight. We'll see if they can find holes based on the way this defense plays him, because they haven't been able to find any yet. In fact, hardly any teams have been able to find any holes yet against Arizona.
The right fielder is Connor Owings. And the first pitch is a ball. I got a chance to talk with the coach earlier today, Jay, about the idea. Last night we hammered how the defense is in a position and the balls keep getting hit right at him. And he did assure me there have been games that didn't happen. They're just on a roll right now.
That's one thing we have to pay attention to. With Ginkel on the mound, 94, 95, they're not going to have that dramatic shift. They play a little bit more straight up, so let's pay attention to how they adjust with the velocity on the mound.
Took something off that one, 81-mile-an-hour changeup, and it's now a 2-1 count.
You can see Boyd up the middle, but Cody Ramer, last night he was playing more in the hole, and now he's a little bit straight.
As the second baseman, there's a good pitch in for a strike, 2-2. The leading home run hitter on the team is Zach Remillard. He's on deck. Will he get a chance to hit? 3-2.
This being a fly ball pitcher, they did make a defensive change, bringing in Benke, left fielder, known more for his defense, especially with a sun field early on in the game. Rivas sits on the bench.
He's going to get a chance now. He's got his glove covering his eyes and now moves in to make the play. So a couple of flyouts and a ground out. And Kevin Ginkel continues Coastal struggles. We'll see the Cats at bat when we come back. Quick top half of the first. Coastal retired, and now Arizona, who leads this best of 3, 1-0. Jay Johnson, 5th coach to lead his team to the finals in his first year at the school. He's trying to do what those other 4 didn't and win one. As we take a look at the Capital One batting order for Arizona out of the Pac-12.
Now let's focus on right fielder Zach Gibbons. Boy, has he been hot the entire season. 104 hits. Terry Francona, I think you're not in the top 5 anymore. You're number 6. Zach Gibbons has moved to the 5th place all-time for the Wildcats.
And we got Mike Morrison on the mound for Coastal Carolina. It's the first time that he has been in this position all year. It's his 34th appearance, but his first start. For much of the season, Morrison was the closer for this ball club. Came on in a big spot earlier in this tournament, went 4 to 3rd innings. I think the question tonight is, how far can he go in this starter's role? Really pitches better than his stuff. The fastball will be around 90, maybe a little bit less, but a breaking ball and a changeup at any time.
The idea that a closer is starting, fans of major league teams, imagine if Craig Kimbrell or Aroldis Chapman showed up and started one night, or threw 83 pitches in a game, which is what Morrison did in the game that he threw 4 1/3. That was on Thursday, so he's had some time to rest, and 6 times he's thrown 40 or more pitches, so he can as a closer be stretched out a little bit. First guy he's faced in is Cody Ramer, and Ramer's had a very good World Series. He is hitting .344. He got on base last night with a double. He was robbed earlier in the College World Series of extra base hits by a great play in center field. He makes contact again, and they're off to a start as Ramer is on with a single.
Love the approach by Ramer. Again, getting on base in the first inning, first at bat, setting the tone early for Arizona. And you see where that pitch is, up in the zone? That's going to be Arizona's game plan. That is a pitch that Corey Koski, home plate umpire, is going to have to call in order for Morrison to be successful tonight, to make that curveball more effective against the offense.
You dropped Corey Koski on us. Is that his?
Chris.
But you're going major league on us.
I did. I went third base, Minnesota. I like it.
Zach Gibbons, the right fielder. Eduardo talked about him. He squares to bunt, and there's a called strike. College World Series, a little different than a Major League World Series for sure. And it's the best 2 out of 3, and for Coastal, the decision makes a lot of sense. Their best pitcher will be available tomorrow night, and you got to win 2 games.
Both fouls right here.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with the move to start Morrison right here, because you know he's going to have to play a big part in this game at some point. Why wait? I mean, however many he can give you in the front end, if it's 4, if it's 5, that's plenty.
There's the guy tomorrow night, Kyle, if they get there, Andrew Beckwith.
There's no question about that. They get to that point, it's Beckwith's game.
See Beckwith there, letting the catcher know, hey, make sure that Morrison stops, holds, no balk.
Morrison is a classic story. Here was a kid who played high school ball with Connor Owings, the right fielder, and by the time his senior season rolled around, he figured his baseball career was done. He was just going to shut it down and really not play anymore. And then his brother one morning said, dude, get up, there's a showcase, and get down there and see what you can show them. He went with Connor Owings, the right fielder. How to play. And the pitching coach for Coastal goes to see Owings because he's heard about him. He also sees this Morrison guy out there. He likes what he sees. The two of them go and visit Coastal. They talk with the head coach, Gary Gilmore. They both leave. Neither accept any offer to play there. And as they both leave and go their separate ways, they both end up calling the head coach and saying, we're in. We're coming. Ball. So his brother deserves a lot of the credit. He woke him up and said, get out of bed. Let's go, man. Got a lot more to do here. Now he's pitching in the biggest game in Coastal Carolina's baseball history. And he's starting. At 2-2. Fouled off again.
There you go. Hey guys, we got to pay attention to the Wildcats. Morrison right now, he's at 134 to 137 on his time to the plate. And as you guys know, closers, they love throwing strikes. They don't like holding runners on. So that's something you have to pay attention with their offense.
And for people at home, Alex, is 135, 137 slow, fast? What is it?
134, 135 is green light. If you get a good jump, you take off.
Not going. This one to center field, and it's down. And into second base goes Raymer. So the two leadoff guys for Arizona both get hits on pitches up.
Tell from the get-go that is going to be the game plan for Arizona. See where the strike zone's at? It's exactly where Morrison has been living and making his scholarship work. Up in the zone, and a nice play also by Billy Cook in center field. That ball sort of had a tough kick towards his right. He was able to keep in front of it.
Well, and the key to that tonight for Morrison is you can live with a few of them up there, but then you've got to get outs on the breaking ball, because the fastball up sets up that breaking ball. If Arizona's fouling that breaking ball off and he's forced to come back with that fastball up, that's when you're going to see these swings get really good.
Jay Johnson moves J.J. Matajevic, the DH, into the 3-hole. He lays down a bunt, and it's going to go foul.
Ball's foul.
College baseball at its best. Your 3-hole hitter, trying to win a title, first and second, get the runners in scoring position, and just change the momentum towards them.
there seems to be such a value in college baseball in just scoring first, even if it's just one, just scoring first. You hear a lot of coaches say that. We just want to get on the board first. I think that's why Arizona does this. Both these teams more than 70 sack bunts this year. So the styles are fairly similar between the two offenses.
See if he goes again with one strike. He does, and now he's 0-2.
Here you go. Here you go. And from my angle here, you can see him, Marijevic, his bat was behind the plate, and you got to create an angle and get that bat in front of the plate so you can bunt the ball fair. He doesn't do a good job of it the last two pitches, and that's why he fouled it off. He's a guy that probably hasn't bunt that often, but you can see him at the end. The angle is back, and then he tries to reach for the ball and punch it. It's the other way around. Get the bat in front, catch the ball, and you get the job done.
7 first-inning runs as they try to add to that total. All other teams here, only 2. With 2 strikes. Wow, really? Your number 3 hitter's doing that?
No. That's, come on.
No. Guy's too good of a hitter.
Why have a DH then?
Well, here's the other thing about that too, and this is what bothers me when we see it with 2 strikes, is it sends such a different message to Marijevic, who we've heard, hey, this guy can be one of the best hitters in the Pac-12 next year. You need him to be aggressive. You need him to hit balls in the gap. And if you're asking him to bunt with 2 strikes, I think mentally it sends a totally different message. You want to do it early, fine, but shocked that they keep it on there.
So a gift out, and now Ryan Aguilar, the cleanup hitter.
I can't even focus seeing that. I mean, that right there is. And how do you explain it to the hitter later? You're in the first inning. They know how to play this game. You're showing them right now, and the word quote unquote is you're a little tight by doing that. There's no other word, and there's no way to beat around the bush on that one.
Aguilar pulls it, but it's foul.
Another thing, the fact that Cutter Raymer and Zach Gibbons, they put good swings on pitches up in the zone.
Yeah.
It seems like Mike Morrison is up. His stuff is not there yet. I mean, the first 2 bunts, I was questioning them, but the third one, I don't know what to say here.
Well, by not knowing what to say, both you and Eduardo are saying a ton. And obviously, covering the Major League game, you're just not used to seeing it. 1-1 coming to Aguilar. Raymer's on second, Gibbons on first.
Ball.
And he's living up in the zone. It's now 2-1. Only counter for Arizona, and it's a weak one, is that anytime we get a run, we tend to win because we don't give up any runs. So scoring first and getting a run or 2, at least so far, has been a huge advantage for them. But Morrison struggles. It really does beg the question, why with 2 strikes?
And if he does gets away with no runs this inning, this one's on Jay Johnson. It's not on the inability of Marijevic to get it down or not. A lot of pressure to do it with 2 strikes.
Good count for Aguilar, who drove in the first run last night in the first inning. This is a outfielder who transferred from junior college in his first year, hit a .190. Started 12 games, changed his swing when Jay Johnson showed up. And now there's a comfort and confidence in him that has allowed him to put together a huge season. A .308 hitter, 22 doubles, 8 home runs, 55 RBI. Another one up in the zone that he fouls straight back.
You get 2 guys, actually 3 guys in this Arizona lineup that raise their average 100 points or more since last year. Cody Raymer in the leadoff spot, who already has a hit. Zach Gibbons in the 2 spot, who leads the nation in hits. And Ryan Aguilar right here.
(3-2) going to third. That's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Morrison, a closer, is at least pitching in a situation that he's familiar with, trying to get out of a mess, but not usually ones he creates.
You know, it's interesting too, because there's a lot of swing and miss with Morrison. You look at his numbers over the year, and we've already seen the stuff. The fastball's 88, 89. The breaking ball's been up so far, but he's given up 35 hits and 65 in the third, and he struck out 84. So there's definitely swing and miss stuff. It hadn't been there yet, and this guy's got the ability to make it 4-0 really quick.
He does, and he hit the ball hard a few times last night, but his batting average at the World Series is not good at all. Bobby Dahlbeck, who, if this series extends to a Game 3, will likely be the starting pitcher for Arizona. He's pitched great. He has not hit very well. He's the third baseman tonight. Last night he hit 7th, and tonight he hits 5th. As a freshman in college, Dahlbeck came here to Omaha to participate in the home run derby. Ball.
Oh my Lord.
They have run themselves out of this inning, and there is a no. Oh. Wow.
Never seen this.
No, Jay Johnson is asking his players to do things they're not listening to or receiving. And they are making a mess of this potential big inning.
Yeah, this play right here looks like it's more of a suicide squeeze than a safety squeeze, as they almost get out of it. All on that man right there, Jay Johnson. As much as you want to execute, you still have to let these players play the game.
And you saw Jay Johnson looking at Dahlbeck like, how come you didn't bunt that ball? He had no chance from the angle I had. It was a pitch down and away. And this is a guy that he's not used to bunt. This is a guy that hits the ball out of the ballpark. You asking him to do something out of what he usually does. He gets a pitch down and away. There's no way he can bunt that ball.
You are, but by the way the runners were moving right there, I mean, it looked like it was a suicide squeeze. The guy in third and second are running. You got to make an attempt. I mean, you got to go after it. I disagree with the call. I totally disagree with the call. But if it's a suicide squeeze, you at least got to go after it.
You asked two players, Matajevic and Dahlbeck, to do something they really haven't done all season long in the first inning.
This went to third off the arm of Remillard, rounding third and coming home and scoring the first run of the game for Arizona is Gibbons. Now the question I think they should at least ask is, did he step on third base?
Well, this right there was a rocket hit to Remillard. Watch this angle. Tough for him to pick up. That ball ate him up. He did everything he could to stay in front of it. Unfortunately, that hop that came in, and did he hit third?
He did.
Perfectly, right on the corner.
So in spite of Arizona giving 2 outs away, they jump on the board and get their 8th first inning run on the RBI single from Dahlbeck. No error on Remillard.
.23 pitches so far for Morrison. This is a closer. Threw a high of 83 pitches 3 days ago.
There are his numbers. Cesar Salazar, the catcher. This one is fielded by Woodall, throws to Morrison, and they make the play. Wow, that was bizarre. That was a bizarre inning for Arizona. They get 1. And at the end of 1, they lead this 1-0.
No.
Coastal Carolina comes up, and they're only trailing 1-0. And I got to believe that even they went back to their dugout and were feeling pretty good about the fact that it's only 1. Jay Johnson's done so many good things in his first year. They were picked to finish 9th in the Pac-12. They finished 3rd. They went down to Lafayette, regional champions there. Brutal place to play. They swept Mississippi State in the Super Regional, and then twice they faced elimination games. Both of these teams have been able to win with their backs against the wall. And Gary Gilmore in his 21st year, and all sorts of stories about the conditions that the field and the baseball program were once in.
Here we go. We're ready.
And they have certainly been the class of Big South for a long time. They're moving to the Sun Belt next year. But they got a whole handful of seniors who want to make this trip last another night. Zach Remillard is one of them. First pitch from Kevin Ginkel's a fastball on the corner for a strike. Still puzzled by the decisions there with the 2 leadoff men on. You try to bunt your 3-hitter with 2 strikes. You move Bobby Dahlbeck, a guy he has likened to Chris Bryant. Jay Johnson recruited Chris Bryant to San Diego and said next to Chris Bryant, Bobby Dahlbeck has the most power he's ever seen, and he tries to suicide squeeze with him.
He caught it. He's out. To me, it's a clear sign that he just does not trust his hitters at this point. There is no way that the 3-hole hitter 0-2, after seeing the 2 bad attempts to bunt, sends him the bunt. And then Dahlbeck, you compare him to Chris Bryant? Well, let me tell you something. Joe Madden would never have Chris Bryant do that with the bases loaded. You have an opportunity to put away your team, and you don't. And now Dahlbeck gets that base hit. At least they get 1, but still, it was for them to put a crooked number up there.
I think it'll be interesting, too, to see what Mike Morrison looks like in the 2nd inning. Because from a stuff standpoint in the 1st inning, it looked like you had a chance to knock him out. It was not sharp. And sometimes you give a guy a second chance. Morrison gets in there, settles himself down a little bit. He could look like a different guy. You don't go through the year with a 160 batting average against without the ability to get guys out. Stuff did not look good in the 1st, but I have a feeling it's going to get a little sharper.
Well, you have to believe it has to, but yeah, sharper is necessary. He really didn't, with the exception of the last batter in the ground ball to 1st, and that was a tough play. Really didn't get anybody out on his own. While his counterpart, Kevin Ginkel, looks outstanding with fastball and slider there.
You know, I was talking to Dave Long, the pitching coach for Arizona, before this game, and he said there's been 1 game this year that Kevin Ginkel had all 3 of them working. That was the game he took a perfect game into the 8th inning against Arizona State when complete game shutout struck out 2. The stuff can be electric. We haven't seen a fastball at mid-90s yet, but still, it's good with late movement, and the breaking balls in this inning to Remillard and G.K. Young have both been tight.
And they've all been late on his pitches, as we've seen foul balls numerous times go to the first base side by the third base side from the left-handed hitters. Chadwick has a home run here in Omaha.
There you go. Let's switch you up, big guy. There he is. There he's looking for a spot. 9 minutes. No, it's all right.
He hasn't landed yet.
It's championship game, championship series.
The plane hasn't touched down yet, and by the way, when it does, the gate may not be available. just until Eddie gets his time at 46 or whatever you think it is. There are a billion birds in this ballpark.
Here's the thing. That would be like me saying, I think the lights are going to be on at 7:46.
Thank you.
It's very similar.
Well, the lights do have to do. They take.
There we go.
It comes from the fly catching family. You guys don't get it.
We don't want to get it.
No.
We're here to watch a baseball game. We're not bird watching on the top of Mount Monadnock. That's not what this is.
Sound a little hostile. I like it.
Yes, Mount Monadnock is a real place. That's where I went bird watching. How about strikeout of Remillard, Young, and Chadwick? Ginkel twice was drafted. He came back. He was drafted for a 3rd time. Right now he's looking like he's got big league stuff.
Text that he had sent me after his freshman year.
I will be the guy, and these players will be the guys that get you to Omaha.
I shot him a text and said, hey, Coach, we're turning things around. We're going to get you there, man. Just give us some time. I kind of laughed and, yeah, Mike, you know, you got to get a lot better, and we got to get a lot better.
The third time is the charm. The Chanticleers are on to Omaha.
When we won at LSU, he forwarded it to me. He goes, do you remember getting this from me? I mean, I just had tears gushing down my face.
We've already told you about the Morrison story and how he was discovered really by the pitching coach at a showcase his brother convinced him to get up and go to. But Costal is not ever to be confused, and that's his brother Andy there, the one that actually said, hey man, come on. I know what you're capable of. Let's wake up and go. And the first pitch he throws to Jared Oliva is in there for a strike. The idea that Costal is a Cinderella is really a misnomer. This has been a very successful team, and as Kyle has commented on, it's not just they beat up on the Big South. They take on all comers and do well. They've gone from facilities, Kyle, that were borderline unsuitable for college baseball to now a nice facility, and they've changed everything around thanks to Gary Gilmore's persistent sort of dream that he was able to garner enough steam and get done.
Yeah, and it just consistently keeps getting better.
Much better.
Well, a good sign right there from Mike Morrison, who was not consistently in the zone in the first inning. He goes breaking ball to get ahead, and then comes back with a fastball on the outside black to get his first strikeout of the game in Jared Oliva. And this is why I would expect to see with Morrison. The numbers over the course of the year are just too good. If you don't knock him out when you get a chance, he's only going to get better.
Justin Benke, the left fielder tonight, who was put in the lineup really for his defensive abilities. A .217 hitter. Senior out of Mesa, Arizona, with no home runs.
Anthony Marks in left field in the sun field. Tough to see. He'll have that glove up right before the pitch is being delivered. Line drive over there. It could be an adventure. That's where Pye is a shortstop. Anything in the air better also follow the baseball.
This is a good bunt. Morrison's going to field it and not have a play.
This is what Benke can do. He's in there first and foremost because of the defense in left field, but he can absolutely fly. Oliva probably the only one with better speed in this Arizona lineup. So even with Remillard in, you can't lay it down better than that. Running out of the box, Benke beats now for another hit. That's the fourth hit already for Arizona with one out here in the second inning.
Gary Gilmore was telling us the story a couple of days ago about the facilities when he had first got there and just how bad they were. They had mole crickets all over the field. Mole crickets just are what they sound like. They just create big holes. And it was a day after it had rained where president of the school, Dr. Ron Engel, walks around the facilities and the campus, and Gary was kind of encouraged to bring Dr. Engel, the president, out onto the field. And it was soaking wet. This one is going to get into the seats down the first baseline. So this is what the facilities look like. He brings the president out there, and he's encouraged to go find the real spot where he knows that, you know, the president plants that foot in that area. There's a good chance his foot's going to go knee deep in mud. And that's exactly what happened. And now look what Springbrook Stadium is. They were looking for a little facility upgrade, a little money to get that field in shape. Dr. Engel put his foot in the mud. He lifted his foot out, and the shoe never came out. They had to get a shovel to dig the shoe out of the field because of the mole cricket holes. Needless to say, they got some more money for their field. So you can lead a president to a mole cricket hole.
Hold on. I saw the clubhouse said concessions.
It did.
They ended up taking an old concession, pretty much warehouse they used to use, and turned it into a clubhouse. No showers, but at least they had their own place.
2-2.
I think the best comparison too, and give credit to Jeremy Mills on this one. You think Gonzaga basketball and all of the success that Gonzaga has had at the mid-major level, it's very similar to Coastal Carolina. The runs over the last 15 or 16 years as far as times in the postseason, how far they've gone, conference championships, that's what that man's done.
2-2. Center field, playable for either Cook or Owings, and it's Owings who steps in front of Cook. Yeah, we talked about Butler and its basketball program earlier this week. Gonzaga does make some more sense numbers-wise as you take a look at the comparisons.
I mean, consistently in the NCAA tournament, 14 out of the last 16 years. Been to 3 super regionals. They hosted one. And obviously the run that they've had this year.
And their goal is to do what Gonzaga hasn't done, and that's win the championship. Back to Raymer, who's been red hot, the leadoff hitter. Swing and a miss there, and a good pitch. Had a lot of movement on it.
What time is it, Carl? Yeah, that's right. Stick with me.
Stick with you.
Lights are on.
That's right.
And by the way, there's a baseball game.
Fly catchers.
Who knew all those things would happen? Runners going, swing and a miss, throw down to second, and Benke's stolen it. Justin Benke's 10th steal of the season.
That was a good jump, and Alex hit it right in the nose the first time. You have a closer up there. Morrison slower to the plate. You have good speed at first base. You get a nice jump. There's nothing Parrott can do on that.
The other thing you get with Morrison too, in plus counts, it's a lot more breaking balls. He throws about 50% breaking balls, so a pretty decent chance you're going to see off speed there. Gives Benke just a little bit extra time to get out there.
Arizona's made a living with first inning runs. They've also come through with big 2-out hits, and they got a chance to do that now with speed at second base. A whole ton of room between Owings and right field line.
Ooh. It's a good pitch, but look at Parrott. Comes up a little bit and takes the view. Chris Koski behind the plate.
That's a 12-6er. That's a nasty breaking ball. Like Kyle said, Morrison's been a heck of a lot sharper here in the second inning. He's asking his catcher, David Parrott, where was that? Where is it? He asked, was it down? And you could actually hear the home plate umpire, Chris Koski, confirm that. Misses the swing, and he's gone. Good inning there for Morrison with a couple of strikeouts, and it keeps Cody Raymer off the bases. After that first inning, we're settling in here at the College World Series with Coastal needing a win.
Whose year ends in December. Then there are those whose year ends in June. These are those people. These are also those people. Not just clinging to their final days of childhood, but embracing them. And as summer dawns and their year comes to a close, who among us could blame them?
Wait a second, is that the dude that was staring?
He's back. Yes, he's got a poster. It's a big day.
Sammy Donato became a star the other night on YouTube and all across social media platforms as he got caught flirting with the RoboCam. Now I think Mom's in tune with, like, where's the next camera going to be looking at you, dude? Where are we looking? Seven, 8, 9. Billy Cook, the center fielder. He is to Coastal what Benke is to Arizona. A guy that can get on, and when he gets on, he moves. He's fast. And he's going to get on as he sends one into left center field. And this is amongst the best base stealers in the country.
Works the count 2-0. Ginkle has to throw it right down the middle, 88 miles per hour. Nice leg kick balance, getting the foot down. Able to get that base hit. And now the game's about to slow down, Carl.
Yeah, anytime a base runner gets on, you'll see usually a whole bunch of throws over to first base.
Interesting to see what Gary Gilmore will do here. Woodall has struggled at the plate. Might have him lay one down. They are the home team. Try to get the runner to second base when you have a very good RBI guy in David Parrott. Clutch so far this College World Series.
In the 9 spot. 27 for 34 stolen bases and attempts for Billy Cook. That one got away. That's a pitch, and down to second base easily will be Billy Cook.
That was a fastball. I don't know if, watch how Woodall squares a little bit late. I don't know if that spooked him or exactly what happened, or if it was a footing issue, but there's a few things I haven't seen in a long time that we've already seen tonight, and you can add that one to the list. If you're Dave Lawn, you got to come out after that one just to make sure that there's no injury issue, because you don't see this. See if his spike catches or anything. Yeah, you see his back foot. See his back foot on the rubber. When you set your right foot on the rubber, that toe's not supposed to move. And when Ginkle was coming to home plate, the toe totally spun on him, and I think it threw everything else off.
He's got a smile on his face, which is a good thing.
This is one where you got to go lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah. The thing that really, I think, changed everything was Billy Cook being on first base. That's their first base runner tonight, and they had a long meeting out there.
Watch that right foot, right there.
Yep.
Go all the way over, and now all the leverage is absolutely gone. And well,
we have that box checked off tonight.
It's better than a sacrifice bunt. Now let's see if Gary Gilmore keeps it on right here.
Well, if he does, he better try to bunt it towards third base. Need to be able to get Dahlbeck involved in this play. Force him in. Aguilar at first base, very good defensively. I'm him. I come in on just a little bit more at first. Force Woodall to go to third.
Yes.
He turns him loose right here. Woodall has pretty good juice, and I know that the numbers might not show that. He's hitting 188 with 3 home runs, but there's some flash in the bat, especially when you watch him in BP. Now 2-0, you got to be thinking he's going to get a fastball.
1 for 19 at the College World Series.
Nope.
Gets it down, covering first is Raymer, and down to third goes Cook. So a well-executed sacrifice by the 8-hitter.
You're right. He got that fastball. He did execute it perfectly. But you can tell by the way both head coaches are managing this ball game. I think not a lot of runs are going to be scored.
Eddie, the interesting thing is that Arizona feels in the first inning that there's not going to be a lot of runs scored, but they're playing the infield back with a man at third base in this spot.
David Parrott's come up big. He tried to square. We almost had a similar situation.
Now, I gotta be honest with you, I get this one.
Right.
I mean, 9-hole hitter hitting $160. And if you can, with one out, you can run a safety. You're not laying a base runner out to third base and a chance to tie the ball game.
17 straight scoreless innings for Arizona. Good fastball. It's in there for a strike. The last run they allowed was to Oklahoma State in the 3rd inning. And that was on Saturday. Parrott can look really bad on the swing, and then he can square one up.
See where Parrott also stands in the batter's box, right in the middle. You see a lot of players, most of the players, always stand in the back of the box. That right there suggests that he could be bunting at any time. That's one thing that Salazar has to look at, pay attention to, open up the field.
And everybody thinking safety squeeze, and I think Aguilar is doing a good job. He's off the back and playing in. As a hitter, you want to push it past the pitcher, but the first baseman is going to be right in that spot so he can defend it.
There you go.
Pitch there. 2-1 breaking ball from Ginkel that he's probably 70-75% fastballs, maybe more than that. Thinking that maybe in a 2-1 count, now they bring the infield in with 2 strikes.
This one is on the infield, although the infield is now running back. Who's going to get it? Boyd, the shortstop. No, he won't.
Good hustle. Good hustle by Parrott.
Boy, the infield was in. He ran about 25 steps straight back, and Alex, you could see from his positioning that was going to be tough.
And we were talking about different spots. Boyd is playing in, and he's going straight to the ball. But the ball just hung up there. It was a routine fly ball to him, but he overran it. And that's not about communication. That's just a misplay by Lewis Boyd. He has made every play in this tournament, and that's a costly one. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. And for a defense that has been outstanding the whole time, they opened the gates for Coastal Carolina here in the 3rd inning.
And for some reason, they give him an error on the play. Never seemed to touch the ball. In any event, Parrott hustled down to second base. Marks is up. This has been about as sloppy a game as Arizona has played in the World Series. If in fact that error stands up, it's only the 2nd one that Arizona's committed at the College World Series. Justin Benke, the left fielder, is going to be ready with Marks up. 90% of his hits feel like they go that way. There's another one, and it's through. Billy Cook's going to score. In from second is Parrott, and Coastal now is on top 2-1.
Great piece of hitting by Marks. Right back up the middle. He's probably the only offensive player that Coastal Carolina has that the defense just plays straight up. See where they are right there? Hits it up the middle. Give a lot of credit for Parrott on the pop-up, getting the second base, hustling, and staying away from the double play position. He would have been at first. My friends, that would have been a double play. Shortstop would have been over a little bit more towards the bag.
So the lineup change works beautifully. Marks comes up with men on, and he delivers a hit. And now Paez, who's been hitting leadoff, bats second, comes up for the 2nd time tonight. See if Coastal, once they get going, can keep rolling.
And to the point of Eduardo, that's good situational hitter. You got the infield back, second baseman back, shortstop back. All you have to do is hit back the ball to the middle. He does a good job staying on that fastball and gets the base hit.
This one is deep. Back goes Banky at the wall, makes the play. About as far, I think, as Pius can hit it because he hammered it.
Talk about emotions. Watch where this pitch is. Inside, exactly where he wanted it. Pius clearing his hips. Hits it solidly. Yesterday, that ball is gone. Today, wind is blowing to right field. He cannot believe it. Look at this reaction.
Pius hammered it. You get 15 home runs this year. He knows what a home run off the bat feels like.
Boys, you got to see the reaction of everybody in this dugout after that ball was cut. From where I was standing, I thought that ball was off the back wall of that bullpen. That's supposed to be a home run.
Gotta believe Coastal's feeling better, though, after being stymied last night.
Oh, yeah.
Hitting the ball, scoring, running around the bases.
Take some good swings in this inning. Leadoff single by Cook, the single by Marks, and then that swing right there by Pius.
The bottom half of the Coastal Carolina lineup continues to be a nemesis on any team that they face. Cannot relax against this relentless lineup when you have speed like Cook leading off.
Matt Beard had been the catcher. Parrott shows up. He's been outstanding. Now 5 hits here in Omaha. And what had been the trademark for Coastal here in Omaha is they get a runner on and you feel like they have a rally going. It didn't feel that way at all last night. Tonight you're kind of getting that sense again. That's Rafiki, their rally monkey, who's been around since they were swept at Georgia Tech. They bought the thing at a truck stop and they've been rolling all the way to Omaha ever since. Change up in the zone, but it's called a strike. Weekend after they got that monkey, they scored, according to at least one player, like 48 runs at Liberty. They actually did score 43 runs in a 3-game series. Kyle, how do you explain all the throws to first base?
I mean, the game is a different game at this level, and I think that there's more concern all the way around. Marks is a good runner. Obviously, that's one of the reasons that they're keeping him that close. But I think and we've seen it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's differences between the college game and the pro game, and that's fine. There's difference between the NFL and college football. There's difference between college basketball and the NBA. Now, sometimes those differences go a little bit further than we all think. But this is one of them. And there's clearly more thrown over in the college game than there is in the pro game.
Premium on runs, especially here.
Absolutely.
Ahead of Owings, a pull hitter 1 and 2. He flew out to left his first time up.
And having played in the College World Series and not having won both times I came here, you know, the players feed off of what goes on with the head coach and the coaching staff. And right now, Arizona is playing tight. The players are playing tight because the coaching staff sent the message early in the first inning. Start playing the game differently than you did at the beginning, from the regionals to super regionals to the College World Series, and now this game, completely different.
Owings is gone. Ginkel gets him to swing and miss. He picks up his 4th strikeout of the night.
Well, this is what Gary Gilmore loves about Parrott. Watch the hustle right out of the box. Goes from first to second on a pop-up to the infield, hustling through. And then Anthony Marks, pitch up in the zone, driving it back up the middle. How about this reaction? Yeah, baby, we're up 2-1.
Because of this, locking into a RoboCam, which means it's an unmanned camera. Our new buddy got into this on Saturday, kind of clued his mom in, like, look, and she's like, what? And then they discovered they were on TV, then they got on YouTube, then they got everywhere else, Kaylee.
It's so true, Carl. Sammy, so you didn't have a guy with a camera in front of you like we do right now. How did you know that RoboCam was looking at you?
Well, it just started turning around, and before the game, it was turning around and looking at me, and so I thought maybe it'll turn back around, and it did.
30 million people have seen your stare down with that RoboCam. What do you think of that?
It's amazing just that there's that many people just watching me.
How'd you get so good at the staring competition?
Mostly just my brothers messing around with me.
Were they impressed by what they saw on TV?
Yeah, a little bit.
Thank you so much, Sammy. We'll let you enjoy the game.
I think Sammy enjoys the interview a lot more than the game right now, Kaylee. All right, so Zach Gibbons up, the number 2 hitter, hits one on the ground right at the shortstop, Paez. An easy play. Let's see now, how does the impact of the failed effort to get a bunt down in the first affect the 3-hitter J.J. Matajevic, if at all?
Well, I'm sitting here hoping he just missed that sign, 0-2, that Coach Johnson did not give it to him, but at the end of the day, wow. Such a good hitter, and we've seen him throughout the College World Series be able to handle pitches up and down in the zone very well.
This is going to get into the seats. Kyle, there is a significant difference in Morrison in the first inning compared to the last 2.
Yeah, he's, you know, there's certain guys that I think you got to knock them out when you get the chance. And if you don't knock them out, a guy like Morrison, who is mentally and physically built to pitch in high pressure situations, he gets out at one in the first and only gives up a run, and I just had a feeling it was going to get better. He's been too good this year.
We saw him throw 83 pitches. That was Thursday. Look out. So 83 pitches Thursday for a closer. He starts tonight. 4 days rest. I mean, how many pitches do you think that they want to get out of him?
I bet it's close
to 80.
Yeah, and it honestly wouldn't shock me if it's a little bit more than that.
Really?
I mean, I think if you get 5 or 6 tonight, that's really good for Morrison.
Good pitch there. Matajevic is out. Throw down to first. Second strikeout. Thursday, ESPN2. Miss soccer, you'll get it back. Quarterfinal start. At Euro 2016, Poland reaches the Final 8 for the first time in a European Championship. They take on Ronaldo in Portugal in Marseille. Our coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern. It can also be seen streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app in case you're at work or somewhere where you only have access to a computer, laptop, or phone. 2 down for Ryan Aguilar. Center field. Cook, couple steps back. Glove up. Then a fast inning for Mike Morrison. We're at the end of 3, and Coastal's got a 2-1 lead after 8 pitches. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Just a spectacular night to be high above TD Ameritrade Park here in Omaha, Nebraska. And miscues cost Arizona in the first.
Yeah, that was one that was, well, maybe both of them were the biggest surprises. But an 0-2 bunt by Manajevic fouled out. That's a strikeout, and then they try kind of the double suicide squeeze, both runners moving. And then this one on Woodhoff squares around to sack bunt. Instead, the ball's thrown away. Runner on second base, and see Lewis Boyd playing in. Just couldn't quite find this one. We haven't seen this from Arizona. Defensive miscues have not been there at all this year. And really not at all in this College World Series, but that's led to 2 Coastal Carolina runs.
Top of the fourth, we'll start with Zach Remillard, the third baseman. Misses that. You can tell he takes some hacks at it. Remillard's a guy that had some Tommy John surgery and really struggled for a while coming back. He would try to DH, couldn't play in the field, and it really took a while for him to mentally get over the hurdle. And it kind of clicked in again this year. We realized he is healthy. He's got a great arm at third base. And a lot of people think he could play at the next level and be successful.
Watch the grip on the bat. Look where he puts his left index finger with the pinky finger, crossing it sort of like a, well, like if you're holding a golf club.
It's a little overlap.
Yeah, a little overlap. You do not see a lot of that. There's no choking up with 2 strikes whatsoever. Just straight let it rip.
On the corner, he gets the call. Strike 3, strikeout number 5.
Remillard kind of missed the one that he could hear earlier in this at bat. It was a breaking ball that was in the middle. Now this time the velocity is starting to tick up a little bit for Kevin Ginkel. One of the better fastballs that we've seen today, away with pretty good finish to strike Remillard out for the second time today.
Brings up G.K. Young. G.K. Young went on 1 recruiting trip, and it was to Coastal. He grew up. Remembers being 10 years old and watching Coach Gary Gilmore and how good they were. And he really wanted to play there. Never felt the desire to leave. He was a 2-sport athlete at Conway High School. At one point, the big fellow was a 260-pound lineman. Shed a lot of weight, now became a baseball player. He just flew out to left. So after a very eventful first inning, certainly for the Arizona offense and the Coastal defense, and that guy, Mike Morrison, has really settled in and things have kind of calmed down. Coastal got 2 in the top of the third and lead it 2-1. Ginkel, who again was drafted out of high school, then again, and now for a third time, looks to be as polished a pitcher as we've seen, in spite of all the other incredible performances.
Yeah, I think the one thing you see, and there's guys like this, you get Kevin Ginkel into professional baseball where he's going to start every 5th day. And you can't do it in college. I mean, you got to worry more about winning. That's what happens. But you get him into pro ball, he starts every 5th day. You start to iron some things out. The stuff is really good. I mean, the breaking ball tonight is tight. The fastball's been up mid to upper 90s at times this year. This is a guy that could really take off.
There you go.
Because the stuff that you can't teach is there. It just takes repetition and the ability to go out there time and time again.
Great crowd here in Omaha, and they got their attention divided between College World Series games at night, the U.S. Olympic swim team trials during the day. And Ginkel looking real solid. 6 strikeouts through 4 innings. Bobby Dahlbach, Salazar, they're coming up as we are in Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series. Now you're wondering about the attitude of Arizona. Look at the DJ spinning on top of those baseball containers. This is going on in between innings. Kind of needed a little mosh pit going. been a little flat by Arizona standards, but seems like the covers come off. Bobby Dahlbeck leads off the bottom of the fourth. Fastball rides in. Had a hard single in the first. That was his second hit at the College World Series. And he drove in his first run. Wind blowing from left to right tonight. 1-1.
Comes breaking ball. Try to throw it off that exact same slot. That's what Morrison's been doing a much better job of the last 2 innings.
Oof.
Miss up. Not exactly the place you want to throw it. Now, when you let it go and the guy didn't swing, you kind of want the call, but it's not where you want to put it.
He needs that call. That right there is strike. And the veteran Mike Morrison does not show the umpire up. But earlier I said, in order for him to be effective, needs to be able to get that call from Chris Koski.
3-2 to the leadoff hitter here. Fouls it straight back and a fastball at 89. Haven't been a ton of home runs, but the rally stash is on. There have been a lot of strikeouts. Batters striking out about 21% of the time in their plate appearances, which would be the highest of any season. On the ground with some top spin. Pius gets it. He's up quick. Throw to first. Drags Woodall off the bag. Dahlbeck's second hit of the night.
And Pius with a good effort. This ball is mishit up the middle. He's playing him pull. They've been pounding Dahlbeck inside. You see him full extension, but it seems like he didn't have a grip when he threw the ball to first, and that's why he kind of like lose his arm slot and didn't throw this ball right on the bag. Good effort. Wasn't able to finish the play.
So Dahlbeck aboard with his second single, and now Cesar Salazar.
Right there. I bet you guys $1 that Eduardo Perez thought that Salazar was going to bunt on that pitch.
No. Wasn't even thinking about that.
My bad, so I lost.
Down one.
Down one.
You can pay me.
The thought occurred to me, though, would they be a little less proactive in the small ball, given what happened in the first, and let their guys swing a little bit? I can't imagine that would figure into the equation. Forget that first inning, right?
Well, I mean, the reality is this: is Arizona has been very good at that style, and one of the reasons they play that style is because they play in a ballpark that's similar to this. So it's got Jay Johnson a lot of runs this year. It was just too much.
It's the first inning.
It was an 0-2. Eddie, they've done it the whole year. They've won a lot of games doing that the whole year.
With the bases loaded,
with an 0-2
play?
No. Let me finish. Not with an 0-2 count, and not with the bases loaded. My point is, to bunt is something that they do. It was the spots and the ways they did it that shocked me.
Right. I agree with you on that they do bunt. That's their style of play.
I'm not disagreeing with your point as far as when they did it in the first inning, but it did surprise me that they didn't do it here, because that is the way they've scored a lot of runs this year.
See what I started up there?
Yeah,
nice.
Thanks, Alex.
Still owe me $1.
Yeah.
If I have to move in between them, I will.
We're actually saying the same thing.
We are. I think we're both just in shock right now.
Breaking ball got him.
Yeah, on the leg. You can hear home plate umpire saying on the leg, and that's a 1-2 pitch. Then a hit batter.
Well, I go further and tell you this here. I expect a bunt.
From Oliva coming up.
You jumped the gun. Thank you.
Those of you that saw the Yankees-Rangers game last night, after that 3-hour rain delay, the Yankees pitcher had 2 strikes on 2 batters and both times hit him. And it ended up leading to a big run for the Rangers against the Yankees. They came back and won that game. It ended around 3:15 in the morning or something crazy like that, 2:45 in the morning.
And speaking of crazy, Carl, defensively, you got to slow down the game here. If they give you one out, just get it. Don't try to get too fine, too cute, doing will plays. Get one out and keep moving on.
Oliva lays down a bunt to third. There's nobody at third, so Morrison throws it. Woodall, good stretch to get the out.
Nice job by Morrison, knowing the speed of Oliva after the bunt. Did not take his time. A student of the game. Watch how quick he comes off the mound. Sets his feet. Lets it go quickly. Nice job by Oliva on the bunt.
Well, this will be an interesting one, too. Banky reached first base, and now you're going to see the pitching coach go out and talk to Morrison. Banky, the speedy runner who's now going to bat, reach base with a bunt. He's a lefty. He could drag one.
There's meetings all over the place. Why don't you guys huddle up here real quick? Let's huddle up because
we got a meeting down here too.
Who are you meeting with? Let's get to the meeting.
Here with Kylie. We're meeting. We're talking about defense.
Kaylee and Eduardo down there. Meeting
everybody.
up here. Yep.
Here we go. We're talking about the first baseman might have to play off the bag and in to defend the bunt of Benke.
She's looking at you like you're crazy, right?
No. She's paying attention. The infield's going to play back. As a hitter, you think back to the middle. As a pitcher, Kyle, you take over. Go ahead, man.
Strike him out. Make it very simple. Then you don't have to worry about any of the other stuff. I think part of this is because of the speed that we've already seen from Benke.
Yep.
You know, there's a pretty good chance he's going to put it down. And I think if you're Costal, get the out. And if it's somebody that's dead to rights at home plate, then so be it. But other than that, just if they're going to give you an out here, take it out. And this is when you would expect to see a safety. Guy towards the end of the lineup with really good speed. If he shows late, potentially can beat it out for a hit.
He's got 2 hits. We got a beach ball out there in right center field, so that's going to slow things down just a little bit more.
Well, Remillard, he's directing the infield right now, but he better be at least 2 steps in front of the bag at third on the grass.
Got a couple of big bodies who are going to be heading towards home plate, perhaps at the same time. Dahlbeck at third, and Parrott, who's about as strong as anybody on Coastal Carolina, behind the plate. Both of Benke's hits in Omaha are bunt singles. Woodall is way in at first. Only 1 out. Runners don't have to go. No force. Nobody at first. And there for a strike with no attempt to even pretend to bunt.
And like you said, Carl, you don't have to run if he bunts to first base and the first baseman gets it. one thing you can do as a hitter, try to get a bunt hit to third base. Make the third baseman make the play as a run at third base. Walk with him. He throws to first. You walk to the plate.
Woodall goes back. Good pitch. 2 strikes.
Those were balls to Dahlbeck. This one a little bit higher, called the strike.
Oh, foul right here.
Well, so far it's been a little bit backwards. Just when you expect a bunt, sacrifice, squeeze, something with a guy that is a very good bunter, they don't have it. And Dahlbeck, who's sitting down there about 4 feet from Jay Johnson at third, you wonder what's going through his head. He was asked to bunt.
How about already Morrison at 64 pitches? 63 was his high before Thursday when he threw 83 pitches. A lot of high stress pitches already through 4 innings.
1-2 to Benke. Defensive replacement tonight in left field. Swings and misses. Morrison threw it by him at 90. And a big strikeout for Mike Morrison.
That breaking ball to the slot that Morrison throws it will get you swings like this, and sometimes it'll get you swings and misses. You're expecting the breaking ball when it comes out of that slot because both come out at the exact same eye level. They start at the top end of the zone. The breaking ball obviously goes down. That time the fastball stays there, and Benke swung right underneath it.
Lewis Boyd's the shortstop. He's the 9-hitter. We've seen the 9-hitter for Coastal, David Parrott, come through. Boyd charged with an error on that pop-up, hit by Parrott, so he'd like to redeem himself a little.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Trying to get out in front of that fastball. One thing Morrison has in his back pocket, the confidence of throwing that curveball.
At first and second, nobody out. Second and third, 1 out. And now Morrison is 1 strike away from getting out of it. Shakes off a few. And start over. Chases a high fastball at 90, barks into the glove and gets a big strikeout. He's got 6 now through 4 innings. And the Coastal crowd likes what's going on.
The time he needed strikeouts, Mike Morrison comes up and gets it. Second and third, 1 out for Arizona. Strikeout, strikeout to end the inning through 4. It's 2-1 Coastal.
Well, Coastal Carolina's got a 2-1 lead on Jay Johnson's club as we head to the top of the 5th. Coach, take me back to the bottom of the 1st. Your 3-hole hitter comes up, 2 strikes. You choose to bunt him with 2 guys on. What was the thought behind that?
Well, that's our team, and that's how we got here, and we want the players to play no different than we have each game, and so I have to coach the same way. And JJ's a good bunter, and you know, we had a good attempt at the first one and just missed those next 2, and he'll get another crack.
As Morrison settles in for Coastal, how do you get to him?
Well, you know, he hasn't thrown this many pitches all year, so my hope is we can wear him down a little bit and get to him. We had a chance right there and didn't do it. So we just have to be patient, take good at-bats, and play the game the same way we have all year.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Kaylee, and the explanation there from Jay, which is pretty much what Kyle was saying. This is how they've done it all year long. 68 pitches, the most he's ever thrown, with the exception of those 83 that he threw last Thursday, but he seems to be getting stronger right now. And the guy that started it for Coastal, Billy Cook, In the inning, the third, where they scored 2 runs, he singled, later scored. Parrott scored as well that inning, and that's how they got a 2-1 lead. Well, there are a bunch of personalities on Coastal's team, whether it be Morrison or Remillard. This may be the quietest guy on the team. Billy Cook hasn't said much. He says, I kind of like being the under the radar guy. On the ground, Dahlbeck's there. He fires it to first for the out. And that brings up Kevin Woodall, the first baseman, who wasn't the everyday first baseman. This is a team, Coastal. Every team deals with injuries, but they lost their everyday second baseman, which caused Woodall to take over at first. And Tyler Chadwick moved to second. Seth Lancaster was having a tremendous postseason, hitting .500, getting big hits for them. Hurt his knee sliding into second base, and he's done for the year. Woodall rips one into left. That one's down. It's going to get cut off. He rounds first and heads to second, and he's in there with a double. Benke and Boyd played it as well as they could.
Talk about getting ahead in the count 1-0. Gets a fastball. Is able to extend those arms of his, then hustling around first, taking a nice dive into second base. Talk about do factor. Boy, did he need that.
David Parrott, the number 9 hitter, the catcher, keeps coming up with men in scoring position. That .267 average here at the College World Series is about 100 points higher than what he does over the course of a year. Well, he's been a rock behind the plate. And as you heard Gary Gilmore talk about him, he's kind of like a Navy SEAL out there with his mentality. Players all love him, respect him. He's been big here so far this week.
Oh! 2-1.
Start thinking about facing the Coastal offense. You got Marks coming up next, who's shown he's got the ability to go the other way, make contact, tough guy to strike out.
I want to do that one again.
How about that run?
Yeah, that, and you can see too that swing path of Parrott. I mean, he kind of extends back behind his body. You extend that early, there's no way that you can get to that fastball inside. We're still trying to pull his hands in, but that swing right there should show you enough. That's a pretty good one to stay with there.
Yeah, he went away with it.
He caught it. He's out.
7th strikeout of the night for Kevin Ginkel, who's pitching a great game, and that brings Anthony Marks to the plate.
You sped him up inside, and then you throw this slider down and away. He's been money with that pitch.
He's been outstanding tonight.
Yeah. He has. He's looked great. But Marks got him in the 3rd, a single, and he brought in a couple, and that brings Dave Lawn out here to the mound to talk to his pitcher. We got 2 of the biggest sporting events happening at the same time, so the best way to view them both, watch ESPN on the ESPN app. Stream every point from Wimbledon and just terrific matches earlier today, and every match from the Euro 2016 on your favorite device, only on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. While you were at the swim trials, did you see any of the tennis today?
No. I wasn't.
Very intense matches. Really good.
I went over and saw
that.
And Michael Phelps today for the first time live.
Katie Ledecky's already qualified. She's an Olympian again.
I saw Ryan Lochte roaming the lobby of the hotel. Qualified in the 200, getting a lot of pictures taken. Let's see what Anthony Marks can do with 2 down now. Right back off the glove of Ginkel. Is there going to be a play to first? No, he's safe. Oh, and Marks continues to be an agitator for Coastal Carolina. He's on again.
Talk about speed, putting the ball in play on the ground. Getting out of that box in a hurry. Great play by Raymer, barehanding it. But speed prevails. That's a tough play, Alex.
That's a great play because when he hits the ball, you get a break to your right. He deflects the ball, and then you have to go to your left, and to be able to take a chance, go barehanded, knowing that Marks flies and make the play and throw it. That's a good play by him, but give Marks credit. Most of the time you hit a ball back to the middle, you don't come up the batter's box as quick as you should. He never slowed down.
That brings up Michael Paez, who hit a rocket to left field his last time up. You got Woodall at third, Marks at first with good speed.
Marks did not take a big lead on the first pitch. Let's see how far his lead is here.
Marks just strikes you as that prototypical leadoff guy. Puts the ball in play, tries to beat it out. Very emotional. No swing, and Ginkel behind Paez 2-0 with Connor Owings on deck. A really good job by Salazar behind home plate.
And if you're thinking of Coastal Carolina as trying to put something on, not a lot of speed at third base in Woodall. One of your best hitters. The man that brought you to Omaha with a big base hit in the Super Regional in LSU.
93 fouls it off.
He didn't shorten up much. We were trying to leave to right field right there.
Just watching this team, Marks remind me of Adam Eaton, the center fielder of the White Sox, and Paez to Dustin Pedroia. These little guys with an attitude at the plate, they put good swings on. We saw Paez right there looking for that fastball.
And now 3-1. Salazar on his toes behind home. Ginkel with 9 wild pitches in 16. Most on the staff. On the ground is short. They go to second for the force, and that'll do it. Paez unable to bring in the run from third. We get a good one where midway through the 5th, it's 2-1 Coastal Carolina.
Gary Gilmore's team's got a 2-1 lead on Arizona tonight. Coach, how do you describe the fortitude of Mike Morrison in this situation?
Man, he's nails. That's all I can say about him. He's our guy, and it's the whole reason we went with him. I mean, he's just going to keep battling for us. It hadn't been extremely pretty, but he's wiggled out of the trouble he's got into, and hopefully he can give us another few innings.
68 pitches thus far tonight. How many do you think you can get out of him?
We'll just see. It's as much about the stress of the innings. If hopefully he can get us through the 6th, then we got Bobby Holmes, and we'll go that way.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Mike, and that's not a big surprise that you see a gathering behind Kaylee and Mike during the interviews. The big Gary Gilmore head. It's like a little Blues Brothers imitation. Morrison's been really good after that first inning. That's for you, Eddie, I'm sure. The ice cream standard shot for Eduardo.
That's right.
Top of the order. Chance for Arizona. Cody Raymer leads off. As much as Gibbons has given to this team, Jay Johnson will generally say that Raymer's probably the best hitter on the club. A 344 average during the regular season. 344. 98 hits and 285 at bats.
Boy, did he put in some work in the fall season, changing his approach at the plate, being able to put that foot down early, changing the bat path, and being more consistent.
Ball.
Cal, third time around the lineup. You're getting into 72 pitches so far. This is going to be a tough test right now for Mike Morrison.
Yeah, I mean, 4 days ago, this was the most pitches he had thrown the entire year. And to come off of your longest outing of the year, which is what Mike Morrison is doing, it's not easy to hold that stuff later on. He had a rough first inning, but got out of it only giving up the 1 run. And since then, Morrison has been significantly better.
That's the guy you heard Gary Gilmore talk about, Bobby Holmes. And both of these teams, if there would be a game 3, have the pitchers that they're very comfortable with going to the mound. We're not sure if Nathan Bannister, the ace for Arizona, would be available. Bobby Dahlbeck, who's been great, will be, and Andrew Beckwith is certainly available. Gibbons to right. This one is going to get down. Owings cuts it off with his bare hand. Good play there. But they got men at first and third and nobody out. Connor Owings almost overran this and was able to hold on to it with his bare hand. Otherwise, Raymer, that ball gets by, he scores.
And Gibbons has done a nice job today. First inning again, pitch up in the zone, looking up there, staying to his game plan, hitting another line drive for a base hit. And if we thought there was something going on in the first inning, now with runners at first and third, this is what Arizona baseball is about. Have to be careful here with the safety squeeze if you're Coastal Carolina.
Nadajevic getting encouragement from Raymer down there at third base. He's got the signs from Jay Johnson. This is the guy that in the first inning was asked to bunt, failed once, twice, and then tried again on the third time. He fouled it off for a strikeout. And he looks at a strike 1. Sophomore designated hitter hits .290. Ooh. Swung right over the top of that one. And now 0-2.
Watch Aguilar. Watch how he comes up also with the curveball. His body comes up a little bit, leaves his feet. Ends up swinging and missing. You have to stay strong throughout your legs.
Matajevic is 1 for 9 with runners on at the College World Series. Swings wildly at that. He's out. Morrison bearing down.
It's right back to that breaking ball. Let me get Matajevic to swing right over the top on one that was definitely hittable before this. Now this is exactly where he wants to throw it 0-2 in a spot that if you swing at it, there's absolutely no chance you can do anything with it. And it's the trust of David Parrott back behind the plate too, to know that he's going to block that baseball, keep it close, and the runners can't advance. Tough night so far for Matajevic.
Sure is. And again, I don't know, but you wonder if there was some carryover effect from what happened in the first inning. That seemed like a place that Arizona would have bunted in. Let's huddle up here. Arizona, by the way, tonight with runners in scoring position, 1 for 7 and 5 strikeouts. A lot more coverage of the College World Series, including interactive brackets and highlights, can be found at ncaa.com. It's been a heck of a lot more reserved in the Arizona dugout than previous night. If Coastal hangs on and wins game 2, there'll be a game 3 tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. It promises to be a tremendous pitcher's duel, just given the guys and what they've been able to do in the tournament. Arizona with a win tonight wins the College World Series championship. That's the Ferris wheel beyond left field, right next to the Century Link Center here in Omaha. So the 4 1/3 now matches the longest outing of the season. He has saved his best for last. That's for sure. You could say that about Morrison. And I guarantee if there's a game tomorrow night, no matter how many pitches he throws tonight, he's going to be in that bullpen. Unless the coaches chain him to the
might have to tether
bench.
him tomorrow night.
Ryan Aguilar. First pitch up, ball 1. Aguilar walk, flew out to center. He's 6 for 23 at the College World Series. Two for 13 with runners on. That's a 231 average.
I don't see him giving in right here, 2-0. Might go with another breaking pitch. Goes fastball, better keep it way down.
Aguilar's been their best RBI guy, 55 on the season. He's got Raymer at third, Zach Gibbons at first.
That'll change in a bat right there. You can see how far the Parrott had to go, and that ball's clearly outside. But you go 2-1 to 3-0. That's a massive difference in this at bat for Aguilar.
Coastal would love a double play ball. Aguilar up the middle. They get 1. That's all they're going to get. And we're tied at 2.
I listen a lot to Prairie Hill, the infield coach of the Miami Marlins. And as soon as ball hits dirt, he says every infielder has to attack the baseball. You get a better bounce, a better feed. If he would have rushed that play, that's Chadwick. If he would have rushed it at second base, would have had an opportunity to get Aguilar for a double play. Instead, stayed back, let the bounce play him, ended up getting 1.
And that's inexperience right there at second base, Eduardo. Tyler Chadwick hasn't played too much second base, and you don't want to get caught up in an in-between hop in that spot. You go charge that ball, you don't get to it, and instead of Arizona scoring one, they have men at first and third with one out.
That brings up Bobby Dahlbeck. You saw the reliever Cameron Ming run down to the bullpen for Arizona. He's been their go-to guy. And now with a 2-2 game in the bottom of the fifth, you've got to believe this game will ultimately be decided by the bullpens. 81 pitches for Mike Morrison.
I think from a bullpen situation, it's a little bit tougher for Arizona tonight, especially if it's a game. If you're down one, do you go to Ming? And when do you go to Ming?
Right.
Because if you lose this one, obviously you got another one tomorrow. It's really easy for Costal. I mean, you fire your best bullets no matter what position you're in, because you got to win tonight to stay alive. Cameron Ming, who has been so good in this College World Series, 2 saves, 10 innings, all out of the bullpen.
This could get loud right here with the power of Dahlbeck. Counts 2-0. He's had some really nice swings so far today.
The win tonight at TD Ameritrade swirling a little bit. Now, instead of going left to right, it's moving from right to left and a little bit out. Couple of singles from Dahlbeck tonight, including an RBI in the first. 2-0. In there for a strike. And it feels like every inning, every at bat, you wonder how much more Mike Morrison has. You heard Gary Gilmore say if we can get through 6, go to Holmes, but it's totally empty in that Coastal bullpen. Other than some grounds crew workers, there's no one out there. He now passes the 83 pitches that he threw on Thursday, so a new season high for Morrison in pitches. Again, the closer who started tonight. Runner goes, nope, fakes it, and so Dahlbeck swings and misses.
I think that one crossed up. It's a really late movement to get that glove down on what was a pretty good breaking ball. And immediately he kind of pointed to his eyes when he looked out at Mike Morrison.
Two, 2 outs. On the way to Dahlbeck. 3-2. There's such a level of faith that Gilmore has in Morrison. It feels like at times that Morrison drives the ship a little bit. Strike 3. Dahlbeck stands there with a bat on his shoulder. He walks back to the dugout. We are through 5. Morrison frustrated. He gave up the 1. It's now 2-2. And he's done his job. 8 strikeouts tonight for Morrison. A lot of energy in the building as it's time now for tonight's game track, brought to you by Buick. And it's a good one. It's 2-2 in this championship series. And Arizona wins, gives them the championship. Coastal win, and we will have a game 3, do or die, winner take all tomorrow night. Bobby Holmes now makes that slow walk to the bullpen. And they'll hope that Morrison can give him one more inning, and then tomorrow night, if they have a tomorrow night, they'll hand it to a guy who's about as solid a lock for a complete game as we've seen in Omaha. That's Andrew Beckwith. He's a guy that pitches from 2 different arm slots. He'll submarine you, and he'll go 3/4 arm slot. And it's fooled everybody.
But it would be on short rest, something he has not done all season long.
Kevin Ginkel back on the mound for Arizona. He started 6 games this season, threw only 54 innings, allowed 43 hits. Had a complete game against Arizona State. That was back in April, where he allowed just 2 hits. He struck out 7. He was really good at the Louisiana Lafayette Regional. Went 5 2/3 there and gave up an earned run. And you can kind of see his stuff and how much it moves. But that looked like the pitcher and catcher weren't on the same page.
Which is always a little strange to me when there's nobody on base. But you could see the reaction right there from Cesar Salazar. He goes out to catch what he thinks is a fastball. Watch where the glove goes. He's going to frame up a fastball. Then he kind of look at his hands go out like,
really?
Hey, hold on now.
But if he is going to cross him up, it's better that it's a curveball than
the other way around.
I will say this. When you watch Salazar and the way he moves behind the plate, he's going to be really good. Really good. Just a freshman. But it's really quiet back behind the plate. I love the way he receives.
Wings misses. You look at Salazar behind the plate. As a 12-year-old, he lived in Mexico. He played on a travel team that played in tournaments in Arizona and around the United States. In 2010, the coach of that travel team actually moved to the United States. So his son could attend private school. And one of the parents on that travel team volunteered to be a legal guardian for Cesar Salazar, so that ultimately he could go to school in the United States. This one in the hole. Diving stop by Boyd. Long throw. Oh, what a play by Lewis Boyd.
And Lewis Boyd, who's been outstanding the whole tournament. You can see him playing up the middle. The ball is hit to his right. Quick reaction, quick footwork, and the balance he has. He's very quick getting back to his feet, but has such a balance that he doesn't have to step toward first base to throw this ball. He gets rid of the ball quick and gets you out of first base. Outstanding play again by Lewis Boyd. Outstanding stretch by Aguilar at first base to get the out.
Play of the night defensively right there from Lewis Boyd. That has to feel good after he was charged with an error on a very difficult play, meaning that they scored a couple of runs. Just paying off that Salazar story. So he ultimately lives with a family in the United States, and the Arizona Interscholastic Association doesn't allow him to play his freshman year and his sophomore year, and he plays 18 games as a senior. Then he's ruled ineligible again. But he made enough of an impression on the Arizona staff that they brought him in to play catcher here.
You got it. Oh, no, he didn't.
So the stories behind the stories for so many of these kids and what got them to this level of play, and as I think Kyle was alluding to, this is a kid that could ultimately really play on the next level. He's got the maturity of a 22-year-old, they say.
I really like him defensively, and you just have to think that the offense is going to keep coming.
Remillard, wild swing. Ginkel picks up his strikeout. It's number 8.
It's the third time tonight that Remillard's gone down, and the second time in a row it's been on this one. Slider down and away. He threw it earlier. A few fastballs he threw right by him, and he bat that just buried that slider down and away. Third strikeout of the night for Zach Remillard.
Look at that. Middle of the order, 0 for 10, 7 strikeouts. The 8 strikeouts Ginkel has, a career high. Another part about college baseball is Cody Deason, the righty. Rio Gomez, you see there, throws. Rio Gomez is the son of ESPN's baseball contributor Pedro Gomez, who joins us on Baseball Tonight often. The collegiate level, though, another difference, obviously, between the majors and the collegiate level. Watch Ginkel, and you figure this is a guy that's starting every Saturday, every Sunday, every Friday. At least he's started. And that hasn't been the case for him here.
It's his 7th start of the year. Yeah, and I think it's the inconsistency has been what's really gotten him. I mean, that's why he's a 22nd round draft pick. When you watch this stuff tonight, you go, it's got a chance to pitch for a while. It just has not consistently been like this every time out. The breaker ball's been very good. We haven't seen too many changeups. He doesn't need to. Because the fastball breaker ball combination has been so good as Pedro Gomez looks on, and I'm sure is peeking down at that bullpen right now too.
Oh my God.
Oh, 0-2 slow roller. The shortstop Boyd comes all the way over to the second base side of the bag. How about Boyd that inning? Pedro liked it. Arizona liked it. Diving play to his right, and then he ranges a long way to his left. Coastal hasn't scored, but in one inning they got 2. We're tied 2-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th at the College World Series. Stretching it out. Welcome back, everyone, to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. Time now to take a look at the Capital One Cup standings update as teams compete for a combined $400,000 scholarship donation from Capital One.
Bring it home. Out in front, Rav.
Kyle's Cardinal, Stanford, 126 points. A lot of Stanford Cardinal swimmers in the area as well. You big in the pool back in the day?
Me?
Yeah.
More of a cannonball guy.
Yeah.
I wasn't really not a whole lot of speed.
Butterfly wasn't your thing?
Let's get that guy off the morning truck. Okay.
Eddie acknowledged after watching the swim trials that if he were actually to be in a heat, he wouldn't. How many feet?
Oh, no. By the time they're at the 50-meter mark, I'm just getting to the 15-meter mark.
Start the 6th with Cesar Salazar.
Did get to see B.J. Surhoff there.
Really?
Today, yes. Good baseball conversation. He should be in attendance somewhere here tonight.
Former Tar Heel. Major league player for a long time.
A couple of his kids swimming across the street.
Ooh, didn't miss much. It's 1-1.
I would think this has got to be Morrison's last inning. And the stuff is just going to continue to deplete from here on out. He's now doing something he hasn't done the entire year. Gary Gilmore said it when he was talking to Kaylee. If we can get him through the 6th, then we go to Bobby Holmes. We'll see if he can get that far.
Now he's got 6, 7, 8, and 9. And the only guy with a hit has been Justin Benke, who bats 8th, and that was a bunt single. No one else that he's about to face has hit him in their first 2 trips up.
He did. Tag.
He's given him everything he's got. Really solid effort here from Mike Morrison tonight.
Yeah, and, you know, when Kaylee interviewed head coach Jay Johnson, he said they're waiting until his stuff starts flattening out. Well, he's ahead of the hitters, still not pitching behind, especially starting this inning, keeping the ball down. You have to be able to make him elevate that pitch and stick to your game plan. They were very successful early, hunting the fastball up.
Yeah. And I think you got to get him earlier in the count. I mean, you get him to 1-2, 0-2 count. That's when that breaking ball in the dirt comes out so much more.
Ball.
Inside of Jared Oliva.
Maybe one. That might be the first one of those we've seen today. So a little shot of adrenaline out there from Mike Morrison as Kevin Ginkel looks on. Been a really good battle between those two tonight.
8 of the 9 strikeouts have been swinging tonight against Morrison, who steps off. Morrison and his buddy out there in right, Connor Owings, were high school teammates at Conway. I told you the story of the showcase, but they also battled to see who would be the starting quarterback on the football team. And as the pitcher said, Owings was way better at throwing the football than I ever was. Owings ended up being the quarterback. About 80% of his touchdown passes went to Morrison. This one to left center field. Billy Cook can fly, and he's there to make the play. Two down in the 6th. Coverage of this NCAA Baseball College World Series will continue on ESPN tomorrow if necessary. We'll be on at 8 Eastern Time. Sports Center will have coverage as well pregame, and of course ESPNU has pre and postgame coverage. ESPN3 at different angles to watch these games. The NCAA Baseball College World Series is presented by Capital One. He's one batter away from getting through the 6th inning. It's Justin Benke. Called strike. Such a great story of a college kid who wasn't sure he was going to play in college. He stays for 4 years, becomes a leader of a team. That important role of closer, and here in the biggest game, he's delivering a tremendous outing on the mound as a starter. This is storybook stuff here for Coastal and for Mike Morrison. He's already got a career highs in strikeouts with 9. He could go to double digits with 1 more here. Benke didn't offer. It's been an impressive inning. Holmes is just kind of sitting out there in that bullpen. He's not doing anything to loosen any part of his body, his arm, his legs, nothing. Had the glove. We had everything we needed. We did it all right. Oh! we
What this thing?
My, how many chances did we get?
That's it.
Take it, throw it. Go Tanner on him right now and just spike your glove.
Benke's gone. Morrison might be, but what an inning. And what an outing tonight from the senior. 10 strikeouts, career high. And if you said the game would be tied when Morrison would come out, he'd have 10 strikeouts. And we're going into the 7th. I think you take that if you're Coastal. Goodbye. Enterprise Rent-A-Car as we're 2-2 going to the 7th.
Mr. Morrison has picked up the shots tonight, and they really needed him too. You get a closer that starts the ball game. How about setting a career high in strikeouts? That's what Mike Morrison has done so far. That's 10 of them so far. Most of them swinging, and it was the breaking ball early, the fastball elevated late. Both set up one another. For Mike Morrison, who now has thrown more pitches in a game than he ever has before, has now struck out 10 for the first time in his college career. And as he looks on right now, Coastal in Arizona tied as we go to the 7th.
His ability to forget if there's a bad outing as a closer has been a key for his success. There's nothing about his look right now that says stress at all. And this is a big inning now for Kevin Ginkel. He's got Tyler Chadwick, who's homered here, not tonight, but he's homered here. And then Billy Cook, who's been on, and Kevin Woodall, who doubled. First pitch in for a strike. It's been an outstanding pitcher's duel tonight between Ginkel and Morrison. And while Arizona's bullpen is very busy, crickets out there and Coastals. You can even hear them. It all goes back to the whole mole cricket thing. It's connected. 7 degrees of mole crickets. Chadwick, fair ball. Aguilar, who's been very good at first base, makes the easy play. Thursday, ESPN2 quarterfinal start, Euro 2016, Poland. They get Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal in Marseille. Never easy. Our coverage starts at 2:30 Eastern. It can also be seen streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app in case you're at work or wherever you may be with any of your devices that bring in the signal from ESPN from Wimbledon to France. Here in Omaha as well. Ginkel keeps firing away. Heavy velocity there at 93. An important runner for Coastal to try to get on here would be Cook with his speed. Caused some problems for Arizona. Looks at one right down the middle for a strike at 2-1. The shredded beach ball look. Knew there was a use for that.
A lot of life on that fastball. Late movement. You see by the swing of the Coastal Carolina hitters.
He hasn't doubled up too often, and a lot of times that fastball, the two-seamer, has been followed up by a slider in the dirt away. There it is. He strikes him out.
Boom.
Ninth strikeout for Ginkel. 19 strikeouts tonight between the two starters.
Just need Rav to yell out what everybody's throwing right here. He had the sequence all figured out. Fastball in. We're going to bury the slider down and away. So Kevin Ginkel is strikeout away from tying Mike Morrison. Morrison with 10. Ginkel now with 9.
Power at the plate, and Woodall had a double into left field his last time up.
Showed he could hit that fastball 1-0 count last time with the double.
Good pitch. 0-2 and a couple of off-speed pitches to Woodall.
Not a bad time to see it. He chases.
.94 on that fastball. A little loose with it, but 94 nonetheless. 2 outs, top 7. Arizona wins. They're the champions. Coastal forces a game tomorrow night. Good take by Woodall. Yeah.
Great take.
That pitch looked good for a while.
That's what's fooled all the Coastal Carolina hitters.
97th pitch of the night coming for Kevin Ginkel.
Chris Koski was on top of that pitch. Set up on the inside part. Look where Chris's head is. Right there. Good call.
I love the idea, too, because you got the reaction from Woodall you thought you would. If that's over the inside corner of the plate, he's not swinging that time.
3-2. Hit hard up the middle.
2 pretty good swings in a row right there. Double down the left field line. Now 3-2 fastball just ripped it back up the middle.
Oh, Brenna. Fastball hit right back where it came from. 2 great swings from Woodall. His last at bat hits the double. He's proving that he can hit that fastball, staying nicely with his legs. Hunting hitter.
That's good pitch recognition. 1-2 fastball up in the zone. He doesn't offer. Then the 2-2 slider able to take. 1-2 slider able to take it. Fastball in, takes it again. And then, like you said, Eduardo, recognize the fastball, back to the middle. Don't try to do too much.
Now the 9-hitter again. David Parrott comes up with men on, and again he can look that way with a swing, and then he could hit one to the wall. He's got 4 RBIs.
And Benke, he's playing as far as possible in left field.
Playing no triples.
Making sure Woodall doesn't score.
I'll switch up with you.
Looks like he's pulling off, Eduardo, that front
Looks
foot.
like he's trying to do the Domingo Ayala uppercut swing. Straight back legging.
He's a big batter because Marks is on deck, and Marks has reached base the last 2 times up with singles. That's the top of the order. It would be the 4th time Ginkel would face the top. So he's got 2 strikes on Parrott. Chases a high fastball at 93 miles an hour. And how about it? Both starting pitchers through 7 innings, nearly identical lines. 10 strikeouts for Ginkel, 10 for Morrison. He's coming back to the mound, and we're coming back. The College World Series. Coverage of the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One, and you can see the blimp high above the sky here. It's aerial coverage. It's brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. All right, how are we looking? 6 innings and 7 innings, and the strikeouts nearly identical. They are, in fact, 10. So are the hits. First College World Series game in the past 30 years where both pitchers, first in 30, where both the starting pitchers struck out 10 or more. Kyle can add. What's your number there? What do you got?
I can. Well, Kevin Ginkel's the 3rd Arizona pitcher to strike out 10 in a game of the College World Series. He and Nathan Bannister and Bobby Dahlback. Last time that happened, Carl.
Yes.
1990, the Stanford Cardinal. Mike Messina.
He could pitch. So we got action in both. It looks like the embraces there for Ginkel mean his night's over. Lewis Boyd, the 9-hitter, leading off here and pulls it, but he pulls it foul. Bobby Holmes is warming up now in the Coastal bullpen.
It's always important to get that leadoff hitter. That's an obvious thing, but with Raymer and Gibbons coming up next, even more important, the way they've been swinging the bat in this College World Series.
Guy that had a career-high 83 pitches is now thrown 101. Oh, what a play by Remillard at third base. Talk about Arizona's defensive positioning. Remillard was right where the ball went.
And I flinch where I'm at. I flinch. Imagine at third base, and that's just good reaction. That's a breaking ball up in the zone. The only thing you can do at the third baseman is just catch it. He's playing in because he respects Boyd's ability to bunt. Good play by Remillard.
Single, a strikeout, a walk, and a run scored so far tonight for Cody Raymer. Breaking ball in there for a strike.
Got a piece of dirt.
Back up the middle, Paez there. Throw to first. Nice play by the shortstop for Coastal.
We've been talking the whole tournament about the Arizona defense. Well, Coastal Carolina, they're pretty good defensively too. Paez going to his left. And the good thing about this play, knowing that Raymer is a fast runner, he makes sure he catches the ball and he takes his time to get up. He understands that he has time to get in my first perfect throw. 2 out for Costal.
Zach Gibbons, who singled twice. We'll see if the pitching change is made. The coach, Gary Gilmore, doesn't make every pitching change. Sometimes his pitching coach does. So look of resignation there. I think he's going to ask for the ball from Morrison.
Trying to convince him to stay.
They're going to go to the right-hander after Morrison was phenomenal. Just phenomenal tonight. In his first start in a couple of years. He does it on the biggest stage in the biggest game in Coastal Carolina's baseball history. And he's going to wait for his buddy Bobby Holmes to get to the mound. That seems appropriate for a kid that never threw more than 83. Did it on Thursday, and tonight betters it by 20. If he could, he'd run out to the bullpen and just be there in case they needed him to come back in and close, but that can't happen. Here you go. The senior gets a standing O and some bows from the Coastal fans. And the entire bench has come out to greet him. What a night and what an end to a career for Mike Morrison. We'll come back to Omaha. 2-2, bottom 7. For the cap, and he gave one to the fans who've supported Mike Morrison for 4 years. His brother Andy wiping tears from his face. And now the reliever Bobby Holmes. First pitch to Zach Gibbons. Look out.
I like it. Up and in. Gibbons has been very comfortable at the plate, hunting fastballs up from Morrison.
Bobby Holmes has been used in a few different roles this year. Started some, has relieved some, but has been nails out of this Coastal bullpen so far in this College World Series. Looks comfortable early. 2 quick strikes right here to Zach Gibbons.
See that tight slider of his. He just misses with that one. The game plan for Coastal tonight was to do exactly what's happened so far. You knew you had no starter that was available that would be better than Morrison and this guy. Then you have Andrew Beckwith tomorrow night if you can get there. One-two ripped into left field, kind of a hanging slider. And Zach Gibbons has his 3rd hit of the night.
Oh, made a mistake. Holmes pitch up in the zone. This is one that Morrison was throwing down in the dirt with 2 strikes, making the hitters chase. You leave it up, and a good hitter like Gibbons will make you pay for that. Nicely done.
He is a great college hitter. Zach Gibbons, 3 more hits tonight. Adds to that national lead in hits this year.
And he moves up to the number 2 spot, most hits in a season in Arizona history. Dave Stegman had 111. And with a 3 tonight, Zach Gibbons now 107. And he's got 13 hits now at the College World Series. 13 hits. J.J. Matajevic has had a rough night. He struck out trying to bunt in the 1st inning, and then he struck out again in the 3rd, then again in the 5th. Coastal was the home team last night. Arizona the home team tonight. Arizona will be the home team again tomorrow night if there is a game 3.
2-1 count. See where Chadwick is at second base. Would love to see him move a few steps towards his left. So far, Matajevic has been pulling off a little bit up on some of the pitches.
Now 3-1. The big home run hitters, if you're wondering, for Arizona. Ryan Aguilar, who's on deck. Bobby Dahlbeck, who follows him. They have 8 and 7 respectively. There are 4 players on Coastal who have 15 or more. 3-1. Popped up and playable. Marks towards the line. Makes the play. Holmes comes in for Morrison. Morrison, the first guy out there to greet Holmes. It's his game now. We're through 7, 2-2 at the College World Series.
This is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase everywhere. And in part by Tempur-Pedic. Nothing feels like a Tempur-Pedic.
Welcome back to the 2016 College World Series. Game 2, best of 3. Arizona won Game 1 last night. And we are tied heading into the 8th inning. New pitcher is Cameron Ming, the lefty. First guy he faces, the leadoff hitter Anthony Marks, who's reached base twice with 2 singles. Ming has been outstanding in the postseason. All 4 of those saves come in the NCAA tournament. Marks slashes at it and he fouls it off. What makes him so good, Kyle?
Well, left on left, he's even better because the slider's good for Ming. The fastball be upper 80s. He might scare at 90 every once in a while, but primarily 85 to 88. But the slider, especially late in the count, is what made Ming so good.
Marks tried to bunt for a hit and he fouled it off at the plate. So both starters were terrific tonight. Kevin Ginkel and Mike Morrison, and now it's a bullpen game, tied at 2 in the 8th. Stayed on that one, and boy, Anthony Marks reaches base with his 3rd consecutive single.
I think he likes that leadoff spot, Eddie.
Loves that leadoff spot. Very comfortable, and most importantly, loves the pitch up in the zone. Saw him go up the middle with a pitch up. Again, does the same thing. Keeps his hands. Watch how high he keeps them there and just works his way down. Knowing what his role is, trying to not get that ball up in the air.
And for all the defensive positioning we talked about in Game 1, they are finding some holes tonight. Coastal's 6th hit of the night. Arizona's got 7. We'll see if they put anything on with Paez.
Well, you have 3 out of the next 4 hitters are left-handed hitters. So don't be surprised if they allow Paez to swing the bat.
He offered at it.
See, that was on his own. That was a push bunt, not a sack bunt attempt.
And Eddie, on that one, if he gets it down, he's giving Aguilar a chance to get to the ball and get the out at second. You try to push it that way, Aguilar flying off the bag. Make sure you let that ball down instead of pushing it.
And as tough as Cameron Ming has been on all hitters, especially left-handed hitters, you have Owings, which is a dead pull hitter, struggles against left-handed pitching. Remillard will probably be walked in order to face both Young and Chadwick, which are lefty hitters.
That one almost got a piece of the plate, but it's outside. The next 4 guys up, including Paez, Owings, Remillard, and Young, have accounted for 67 home runs this season. And there you see the 2 through 6 hitters have struggled tonight.
Good time for a hit and run here. Ground ball pitcher. Marks has to make sure, if it is a hit and run, that Ming does go to the plate.
3 hits tonight for Anthony Marks.
Ball.
Marks is that guy when they bring the Coastal team together for 2016, and they do that 20, 25 years from now, will be remembered as that baseball dirty guy that got on base all the time. Loved to play the game, cause problems for the other team. Hard to get out. Got that playoff beard going as a hockey guy like the Penguins, and of course that was the Stanley Cup championship. Adam Eaton, Laney Dykstra type. Just a slap hitter who keeps getting on. He loves it too. Keep throwing over.
He's trying to draw for him. And he does it in so many ways. He leads him in walks. That's why the on-base percentage coming into this game was above 400, even though the average was below 300.
Cameron Ming on in relief of Kevin Ginkel. And Michael Paez.
Ball.
Good job by Paez laying off pitches that are not in the strike zone. You see a lot of hitters sometimes work out of the zone to try to bunt it, dig themselves in a hole. Ming wanted that one.
(3-1) pitch. He does get it down. Ming will go to first, and they get the out. A 3-1 pitch, and he sacrifices Marks to second.
Well, that's doing your job, even though on a hitter's count, fastball count. 3-1 pitch. We're able to get it down, move the runner over, and now it's up to the middle of that order.
Dave Lawn, the pitching coach from Arizona, on his way out. Dave Lawn knows the pack now. Former pitching coach at Cal, pitching coach at USC, now at Arizona.
That'll bring up Connor Owings. Brother Chris plays for the Diamondbacks. He was drafted by the Diamondbacks. They got great news April 1st. His mother was formerly approved as a kidney donor. Connor was born with one functioning kidney and will at some point need a transplant. He arrived on campus prior to his freshman year and got really sick. And that's where the hospital discovered that his left kidney never developed, and the right one was functioning at 20%. So his mother is going to be able to donate a kidney. It allowed them to, in a sense, breathe easier. He's done a whole host of things to stay on the field. And there's mom and dad who root for, I said again, Chris at the major league level and Connor here, Sherry and John. And now they're just baseball fans, knowing that that will happen at some point down the road. And Connor lives out a dream here to perhaps knock in a go-ahead run for Coastal in the 8th inning of a must-win for them.
Right fielder Zach Gibbons way too deep with a runner at second base.
Ball.
Ming is having a hard time finding the strike zone.
See how deep the outfield is, and they have been playing there yesterday and again today. But when you have a runner at second base, yes, Marks is fast. Any base hit, he's scoring easy.
This is a blooper. It's going to get down, and it's going to bring Marks around from third. Connor Owings delivers. Coastal's on top in the 8th, 3-2.
They say there's not such a word anymore as clutch. Well, Connor Owings in this situation is absolutely clutch. Pitch up and in, fights it off, gets that base hit, and Anthony Marks is able to score from second base. Nothing you can do to defend that. How about Mama? I got your kidney, baby. Keep breaking.
Look at her. Hand on her head. Son just drove in to go-ahead run in the College World Series. Kid that was a Big South Player of the Year that started so slow in this College World Series comes up with a giant hit for Coastal right there.
Anthony Marks scores the run. He's spin the straw again that stirs it back in the leadoff spot with 3 hits, and you got to be careful here with Zach Remillard.
I think the other thing with Arizona is you got to be careful with Cameron Ming. Because at this point you're down, and obviously you're going to come back and win this ball game, but you cannot extend it to the point that you can't use him tomorrow night. And I think that even if he faces Remillard, I think this will be the last guy he faces.
It seems they're trying to get the attention of the bullpen to see if the righty's ready. We got Rio up.
Alfonso Rivas is out there.
Yep.
Ball.
Well, they take Ginkel out. They bring Ming in, and he's really struggled to find the strike zone. Owings got jammed on that hit. But remember, Paez was ahead 3-1 when he laid down a sacrifice. Sacrifice pays off as Marks comes around to score. He's just waiting to connect. Zach Remillard had 19 home runs during the regular season. Drove in 72 runs.
Had white batting gloves before, now black ones, trying to change it up. Saw Bryce Harper do that earlier with the Nationals, to the point he cut him up and went without any.
How'd that work?
Pretty good, Homer.
Remillard over the head of the third baseman Dahlbeck. It's into the corner. Owings to third. He's being held there. Remillard an extra base hit, and Coastal's trying to add on.
Well, if you're going to throw this breaking pitch, you better not hang it. See where it landed, 78 miles per hour, right up the middle. Scolds this one right over Dahlbeck's head. Nice attempt. Now you have runners at second and third. And you're right about Cameron Ming. What are you going to do if you're Arizona?
I think you got to go get him. You got to go get him now. I would tell you, though, that was a really good read down the left field by Benke, because it's that part of the left field line that it could hit the edge. If it hits the edge, it fires back into play. And if it does hit the edge, Owings is absolutely going to score. Benke hasn't been out there very often. Took that deep route to cut it off in the corner, and yeah, that's going to be it for Cameron Ming. And you have to do this if you're Jay Johnson. If it's a tie ball game, I think you run with it and try to win the national title right here. But the minute it doesn't work, Ming has been so good, and you're going to need him tomorrow night at some point.
You're going to need him tomorrow night, but the other part of that is that Coastal has now seen him and probably doesn't feel like he's indestructible. I mean, they hit him pretty good, and he also didn't have great control. You're looking at a single from Marks, a single from Owings, a double from Remillard, and a 3-1 sacrifice from Paez.
We've talked about the ability of Coastal Carolina being diverse. When they need to play small ball, they've been able to show that they have, and that's why they've been so consistent throughout the year. Paez, a strong hitter with a lot of power, can also do the small things right.
It's kind of important, too, to remind everybody how many times that Coastal has had their proverbial backs up against the wall, elimination games where they've had to go to win. The idea that they're in this game against a team from a power conference and that they're winning late and hanging around and getting starts from Morrison should surprise nobody. As we hit 11 o'clock in the East, 10 o'clock here in Omaha. The starting pitchers were great tonight. Kevin Ginkel,
He caught it.
he went for Arizona, double-digit strikeouts. He struck out 10. Coastal decides to go with their closer, Mike Morrison, who threw 83 pitches on Thursday, 103 tonight, and he strikes out 10. Cameron Ming in the bullpen, a single to Anthony Marks, a sacrifice, and then a Connor Owings blooper to left plates Marks. It gives them a lead. And then the cleanup hitter, Zach Remillard, delivers a hard double into the corner and left. So we got second and third right now. And look at Morrison, how fired up he is. It was a well-pitched game from the starters, but again, I think just to kind of let people know that this is not a surprise. The Cinderella story of Fresno, that doesn't really apply here to Coastal.
No, it doesn't at all. I mean, they played a great schedule. They almost hosted. They were, maybe the last team not to get a 1 seed this year, so they had to go on the road. But you talk about what they've come through. They were down to their last strike in regionals, come all the way back to win that ball game, and obviously still fighting here. And what shouldn't get lost in this is how good Kevin Ginkel was today for Arizona, because I thought he was great. I mean, you don't know exactly what you're going to get, but he absolutely gave him a chance.
Well, Mike Morrison was just as brilliant, and we didn't expect that out of him at all. I mean, starting a game which he hasn't done all season long, only twice in his entire collegiate career. And there's a reason why he was in the bullpen. He was not effective earlier on in his career, but oh my goodness, in the biggest stage, he's allowed his team to be at this opportunity right now.
All right, so let's go to a guy, Alfonso Rivas, who we've seen before, but not necessarily in a pitching role. He's pitching tonight, 15 appearances. He got a 1-out save in the bracket clinching game against Oklahoma State. He struck out Colin Simpson, who was a pinch hitter then, with 2 runners in scoring position, which is the situation he's inheriting now. And he's got G.K. Young, the designated hitter, up with 1 out. Infield is in.
I like that. Good approach right there by Young. 1 out. Think you're going to get a first pitch fastball, fly ball to the outfield deep enough, scores a run. And he was just trying to elevate that one, just missed it.
SportsCenter is underway. For those looking for SportsCenter, you can find it on ESPN News.
White.
Young, the Conway, South Carolina kid who didn't want to leave, wanted to play for Coastal. Had other chances to go to bigger schools, but he wanted to do it in a Coastal uniform.
Like G.K. Young, he looked at Coach at third base, and he said, just swing the bat, let's go. This is where, as a hitter, you cannot be afraid to get jammed. Protect the outer part and challenge Rivas to try to bust him in. Nice block.
Nice out ball.
Kyle, I was about to say that the previous slider down and away, down in the zone, that's total trust on your catcher, Cesar Salazar. And at second and third, being able to bounce it, make the hitter chase it. You got to be 100% sure and confident that your catcher is going to be able to block it.
Yeah, and that's just a freshman who has earned the respect of everybody on this Arizona pitching staff.
Won't get the call. 2-2. Rivas has played left field here in Omaha. The first baseman, that's going to bring in both runs. Owings and Remillard. Out out at second, but a huge 2-out, 2-strike delivery from G.K. Young. It's Coastal 5, Arizona 2.
How about the trust that Gary Gilmore has in his left-handed hitters against tough left-handed pitching? Coming back from a pitcher's count of 1-2, works it all the way, looks for a breaking pitch up in the zone and just drills it. And I love that he wasn't trying to elevate the baseball, just hitting it hard, hit it past the infield, trying to stretch 2, and that's fine. End up getting 3 runs in this inning.
And Eduardo, like you were saying, that's a left-handed hitter with this left-handed pitcher, sliders. You got to trust that you're going to be quick enough to fight off the fastball, but you got to stay on it. Young did an outstanding job just looking away, and staying on that slider, and he crushed it by the first baseman.
Another hard hit ball, this one into right. And for a staff that allowed 6 runs coming into tonight, the bullpen is getting tagged pretty good. This is what you'd expect from the Coastal team, and why last night the J.C. Cloney start was so impressive. And Ginkel tonight, but when Coastal gets going, they go.
They hit 2 balls hard last night.
Yeah.
2. I mean, the 2 fly balls to right field. One almost left the ballpark. The other, Gibbons made the catch at the track. Tonight, there's a lot of aggressive swings from Coastal, especially since Arizona's gone to the bullpen. It looks like they will make a change again.
And look, hindsight is easily 20/20, but you could certainly make the case that this game changed dramatically with what happened in that first inning, when Arizona had 2 men on and nobody out, ended up scoring just the 1 run. They're down 5-2. Bullpen door keeps opening. Looks like we're going to have a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow night. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. You call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Well, barring a big comeback from Arizona, and they still have 2 at-bats left. Coverage of the College World Series continues on ESPN tomorrow at 8 Eastern Time. It's the NCAA College World Series. It's presented by Capital One. Well, clutch hitting, lefty on lefty, and the Chanticleers, who have had tremendous support. Had a chance to see a bunch of guys that used to play for Coastal. Now that they finally made it here, many of them have flown from points all across the United States to see Gary Gilmore. There's such a relationship with Gary Gilmore in this team, and how they seem to really dedicate so much of their effort and success to the outcome to him. Looks like he'll play for a championship tomorrow night, and his team with Andrew Beckwith on the mound. As Coastal's got a 5-2 lead now. Billy Cook bats. New pitcher Cody Deason on his first College World Series appearance. Not sure you could line it up any better if you're Coastal. It worked out beautifully for them, assuming they don't blow this lead, to have Beckwith starting the must-win game.
I agree with you. I mean, you had to pick one guy if you're Coastal to roll out there in the winner take all. That's the guy right there.
Ball.
Now, Eduardo, you have a team that has pitched great in Arizona, whose defense has been great, and a bullpen that's been great. Now, tonight you've seen their arms out of the bullpen, and you hit them. Now, what effect does that have in a game tomorrow if you see them again?
Oh, it's huge. And the effect at the middle of the lineup for Coastal Carolina has come through. This is a team that yesterday they were 0 for 10. Talking about the 4, 5, 6 hitters. It's a different story tonight. They've been able to barrel balls up, and I think the biggest difference of all is putting Anthony Marks at the top of the lineup.
And it was this inning that they made the difference, because they were hitless tonight before this inning. All 3 with a hit in this inning.
Marks had a couple of hits tonight before that.
Marks did, yeah, but the middle of that line,
Yeah.
that 4-5-6 that was 0 for 10 yesterday.
Yep.
Single for Owings, double for Remillard, single for G.K. Young in the inning.
I think baseball is an emotional game, though. Marks, what he does. And when he doesn't, how quiet it gets for that team.
Think he's hitting leadoff tomorrow?
Absolutely. What a question. Offensive spark plug.
Well, the great folks in Omaha who love baseball, all levels of baseball, when it comes to the College World Series, they tend to favor the perceived underdog, the perceived Cinderella. And it's reflected in the merchandise bought with Coastal Carolina's name on the front or the back or the Chanticleer. They have been the hottest selling item here, and certainly in South Carolina, where they sell Coastal Carolina merchandise, has flown off the shelves here. And they'll have great support tomorrow night.
I walked around today, and I can tell you the only thing that's left on the shelves, a lot of triple XLs. So you got some
secondary market.
Yeah.
Right now, roll that stuff back out.
A little fat on your size, bring it on down. There's some for you. Mediums and larges, forget it.
Do they have double XL?
Didn't see that either. Thanks.
At this pace, that's what I might have to get.
No rice and beans here, but a lot of good food.
Aguilar under it, and he makes the play. How about it, Coastal? Anthony Marks led it off. He was sacrificed into scoring position. Look at Connor Owings' eyes. Where'd it go? There it is. Led to an RBI. Marks came in to fire up the Chanticleers. And then this big hit underneath the glove of Aguilar that scored another. They got a 5-2 lead. We head to the bottom of the 8th. They can take the town, they can take the College World Series title, they can take the trophy home with them. Arizona had a chance to do that tonight. They still do, trailing by 3 heading into the bottom of the 8th. And if it doesn't happen, it will happen tomorrow night. 8 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN, Game 3, if necessary. And so far, Mike Morrison and now Bobby Holmes have tried their best to make it necessary. Matt Beard has gone in to play catcher. David Parrott out. Ryan Aguilar, Bobby Dahlbeck, and Cesar Salazar scheduled to hit here in the bottom of the 8th. Into right field. That's going to get down. Aguilar reaches base for the second time. He picks up his first hit. And regardless of the outs or hits, this is Bobby Holmes' game the rest of the way.
Yep.
He doesn't have anybody to look out to that bullpen and see Mr. Morrison. Mr. Morrison's on the bench right now.
The only thing out there is his backpack that he took out there with him. That is it.
Tyler Chadwick, the only guy with a home run for Coastal at the College World Series. Dahlbeck is their biggest threat to hit one for Arizona. In the dirt, gets by, and down to second goes Aguilar.
We've seen a lot of those today with no runners at second base. Another cross-up, and not one of your Matt Beard that you want. You just came into the game.
That hit by G.K. Young past Aguilar at first looms very large with those 2 runs that scored on that play. Wild pitch, and that went high, 2-0. Let's take a look at the G.K. Young play, because those 2 runs were significant. Could Aguilar have stopped this ball to keep it on the infield? It was really hit hard.
Well, he did his best. He tried to stay down low, and the ball even went lower than that. You have to be able to work defensively from bottom up. Ball scolded like that, and you're playing in.
Ball 3-0. Taking a strike?
100%.
Taking another?
Me, the little guy that hit 230, yeah. That big guy over there, nah. Get a fast one, drive it. Try to change the game with one swing.
Seven home runs on the season. Oof, got one to hit. He took a rip at it. And now it's 3-2.
Tried to hit that ball 450 feet. He's strong enough to just try to barrel the baseball. Not try to do too much. Right now with 2 strikes, chokes up a little bit on the bat.
Got 2 hits tonight, both singles. One of them a hard hit ground ball that Remillard couldn't field in the first. It resulted in the first run for Arizona.
Oh!
Wow. Really close.
That's too close to take. Good eye getting the ball, but see where it lands. Goes down.
So the tying run comes to the plate. We're in the 6, 7, 8, 9 spot for Jay Johnson. He's brought Cesar Salazar over to talk with him.
And Eddie, is that one of those meetings that let's bunt to get closer in this game, or just talking strategy?
I hope not. If it was more like the 5th inning, I would say yes, let's try to bunt, because that's the way Arizona has played the game. But when you don't have that many outs to give, he wants him to get a good pitch and try to rip it.
Salazar hit 281 this season. Slider misses. For the most part, Holmes has pitched with the security blanket of Morrison behind him. He went backwards tonight with the closer Morrison starting, and now he's given way to Holmes.
Salazar not a fast runner. They're looking for that double play. Infield does not have to rush.
This is a good idea by Beard to go out there, Alex. I don't know if you can see a arm slot, but he's certainly had a hard time throwing strikes, and perhaps that 3-2 call, and that'll bring the pitching coach to the mound as well. As you can see, the U of A crowd starting to get into it again.
Seems like against lefties, he's just missing down and away, trying to be too perfect to get that ground ball. Needs to get back to be aggressive. You know, the situation is out there, first and second, get a ground ball, but don't try to be too perfect. I mean, Kyle, you're the pitcher. You know how you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's when that plate gets a little smaller too. I mean, I mean, Holmes just does not look terribly comfortable since he's been out there, and you got to think that Salazar's taken one here too. In fact, I think he was taking one right away. That was way too comfortable to take for me in a first pitch breaking ball when he was up there. It seemed like he was taking the entire time, and if that was the case, I think he's absolutely taking it here.
And in lineups, we always talk about the 3-4 hitters, how they carry up the offense. Jared Oliva has been outstanding the whole tournament. And I agree with you, Kyle. 2-0 here with Salazar. Take one pitch. If it's a strike, go back to hitting. But Oliva is a guy that he can hit that out of the ballpark. He can shoot one in the gap. He's been able to handle breaking balls and fastballs the whole tournament. He's been probably their best hitter. Well,
next to Raymer and
yes,
Gibbons.
Raymer
too,
and Gibbons, yeah. But
he's on deck. He follows Salazar, who's ahead 2-0. Took a little off it, and he throws it over for a strike.
Time's out. Time.
A lot of talking to each other and to yourself in this spot. Salazar hasn't had an at-bat with a runner in scoring position, and he's now ahead 3-1.
Boy, if he was taking 2-0, he might as well take 3-1.
Oh, he took it wisely. Ball 4. They're loaded. And it gets a little tighter now for Holmes on the mound. Back-to-back walks. Arizona brings Ryan Hogg into pinch run for Salazar. As we wait for Oliva to come up, Alex, what have you seen from Oliva that makes you like him as a hitter?
He's been able to handle pitches up in the zone the whole tournament. Pulling it for power, also been very disciplined, although today he was chasing pitches up. But he's been able to control that fastball and get into those pitches in the inside part of the plate.
He's 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position. First pitch to Oliva with the bases loaded. Popped up. On the infield fly, it's called, and there's one out. That's a huge, huge out for Holmes.
And guys, I don't know, from down here, it seems like he just missed that pitch.
You can see got a little too big, collapsed on the backside. Takes a little bit off. 82 miles per hour, just collapsing, and you end up seeing that barrel of the bat under the baseball.
Now Justin Benke, the left fielder. Laid down a bunt, beat it out in the first, and that's been it. He struck out these other 2 times up. Tough guy with his speed to double up. Holmes pours in a strike.
Oh my. In order to get to that man tomorrow, you have to win tonight. That right there is Andrew Beckwith. going to the bullpen.
And to give somebody else the chart. Charted the whole game, throws the spikes on, now heads out. This is what he's done so far in the College World Series. 2-0, 2 complete games.
Banky is playing tonight because of his defensive abilities in left field. And that last pop out from Oliver seems to have relaxed Holmes a little bit. He's throwing with a little more purpose.
What?
Beard's got to block everything behind the plate if there's one in the dirt. 1-2. So Aguilar, who had a single, is at third base. Dahlbeck walk on a close pitch. Salazar walked. He's been replaced by Ryan Hogg as a pinch runner.
Time's out, time. Fight.
Banky.
No catch.
No catch. They got a chance for one at second. They get that. The run comes in. The ball bounced just before Woodall could glove it.
That's a risky play that Woodall made there, trying to catch that ball in the air, diving forward on this jam shot. See him coming in. Third base runner has to freeze. He went to second. He could have gone home and gotten the lead runner. Instead, gets the safe out at second base. Now you have runners at the corners with 2 outs, up by 2.
That brings up Lewis Boyd. So Kyle, Beckwith down to the bullpen.
He's not going to throw yet.
Okay. I mean, that's the point. This is a just in case.
Yeah.
Next inning we get a little shaky here.
Well, yeah. Or you get a ball in the gap and he's going to start throwing pretty quick. I mean, I
think it's the ability of Holmes to throw strikes.
Well, I agree, but I think that if Arizona ties this game, and if there's a ball in the gap that scores 2, I think you'll see Beckwith get up and throw it real quick.
In the dirt. And you got to keep an eye on Banky, who's down there at first base with good speed.
He's a burner at first base. Bobby Holmes at that pitch, 1-4-5. That's a runner. That's green light.
1-4-5, and Matt Beard has thrown out 10 of 32 this year behind the plate.
Banky has stolen 9 of 12. Top of the order up next. Lewis Boyd, the number 9 here to the shortstop, is 0 for 3 tonight. Coastal does not want to see Raymer come up. Boyd on the ground in the hole. Paez bobbles it, throws no throw. He's been so sure-handed, and wouldn't you know it? An in-between hop brings in the 4th run, 2 on, and the top of the order, Cody Raymer coming up.
And Paez with the routine ground ball, and he just stops moving his feet. As an infielder, you cannot take a hop for granted. You got to keep pumping your feet, moving them, and create your good hop. He stays flat-footed, and the ball plays him.
Alex, remember earlier when I said about Perry Hill, ball hits dirt? That's a case right there. That ball hit dirt before it got to the grass. You go automatically go after that baseball. You end up with a good hop. You're right, that ball played him.
Cody Raymer has reached base twice, scored a run.
Ball.
First pitch misses. The best hitter on the team and one of the best in the country, Zach Gibbons, is on deck. He's got 3 hits tonight. With Benke's speed down there. You'd think a single, though the outfield very shallow, would score a tying run.
A lot of quality at bats by the Arizona team. Making Holmes work, not chasing a lot of pitches out of the zone.
Won't chase it. 2-1.
This just feels like Cody Raymer's going to put a good swing on this.
He's going to get a good cookie when you have that man on deck. 107 hits on the season.
Left field, playable. Marks under it. Holmes and Costal breathe a sigh of relief. But after giving up 3 in the top, Arizona scores 2. It's a 1-run game going to the 9th. Yeah, not going quietly. Guys, thank you very much. And we'll see the postgame on ESPNU, SportsCenter on ESPN News right now. And all of a sudden, the game broke out again in the 8th. They got 3 runs. And they had their guy they wanted on the mound in Holmes. Ryan Haug has gone in to play catcher for Arizona. And if necessary, we'll see you again tomorrow at 8 Eastern time for Game 3. This has been one of those nights where Costal, no matter what part of the batting order comes up, they've been very good.
This guy's maybe swung it as well as anybody. Double down the left field line, ripped a single up the middle last time.
Kevin Woodall. Cody Deason continues to pitch. 3rd pitcher of the night for Arizona. First pitch in there, 4th pitcher of the night, I should say, for a strike.
Ball.
2, 3, and 4 are due up for Arizona in the bottom of the 9th inning. Michael Flynn's the righty. Rio Gomez throws as the lefty. Rio's thrown some pitches in the bullpen this week. Woodall laces this one to left center field, but it holds up, and it's caught out there by Oliva. Woodall has squared it 3 times tonight.
He has looked a lot more consistent than the previous games. A lot more selective, working counts. Gets down on that.
I like his swing.
Yep.
That'll work. I like his swing. The sack bunt his first time up, 2 straight hits, now hit that one hard out to center field.
The outfield here at TD Ameritrade is a baseball graveyard, especially to the gap in center field. So Matt Beard has replaced David Parrott, and now he gets a chance to take some rips.
Ball.
pitch.
There you go. Don't get too close.
It's the Coastal baseball team that won 53 games this season. Two down in the ninth.
I like this arm from the freshman. Good live action.
Not scared either. I mean, he's coming and gone right after him that time. Just let the fastball go. That two-seamer just ran away from Beard. Missed his spot, but at least missed his spot with authority.
I think this has been the MVP tonight for Coastal. Anthony Marks, 3 hits. He scored a run. He's been in the middle of all these innings in which they've gotten the runs. The third, the eighth. He singled in both. They scored 2 in the third, and they got 3 in the eighth. Back in the leadoff spot tonight. Andrew Beckwith again has gone out to that bullpen. He is the presumed starter tomorrow night. Stretched a little bit. Did not pick a baseball up. There you see him.
Ball. 2-1.
Here's the guy that's going to try to get the final 3 outs.
3-1. Ball.
Anthony Marks reaches base again, 4th time tonight. You can bet he'll start trying to draw some throws.
He is running at some point in this at bat.
Better be early.
Bigger lead than he's had before.
Remember, Ryan Hogg just come in to catch. Not going. First pitch in the dirt. Delayed steal throw down. And he is out by a lot. Looked like he delayed. Saw the ball get away from Hogg for a second. Took off. And he's thrown out. Which sets up Gibbons, Matajevic, and Aguilar in the bottom of the ninth. As Arizona tries to come back and win a College World Series title. With Kaylee Hartung, Alex Cora, Kyle Peterson, Eduardo Perez, I'm Carl Ravitch. This is the 2016 College World Series. Coastal Carolina's nursing a 1-run lead, 5-4. We saw 5 runs in the 8th. Coastal gets 3. Arizona comes back with 2. And we'll start things off with one of the best hitters in college baseball, Zach Gibbons, who tonight has 3 hits. He leads things off. He's 13 for 26. Hitting .500 at the College World Series. Bobby Holmes on the mound. He picked up for his buddy, the closer, Mike Morrison, who pitched phenomenally well. You got Andrew Beckwith, tomorrow night's presumed starter, out there in the bullpen in the just-in-case mode. Let's see what Holmes and Gibbons do. The .500 average is pretty reflective of the season Gibbons had. He had .387 with 104 hits. Got 13 more here in the College World Series. Called strike. No, that misses. Last time an Arizona player had 4 hits in a College World Series game was our buddy, the Indians manager, Terry Francona. Anytime Francona's name comes up, it usually has something to do with Zach Gibbons, who passed him this year on the all-time hits list in Wildcat history. Now Holmes is having a hard time, and now he's in a tough spot. 3-1 to Gibbons.
I'm really surprised there's no activity in the bullpen yet.
I think that glove of Beckwith is still sitting on the rubber. I don't think it'll sit there for long.
Big out.
Huge out. Huge out if Woodall can squeeze it. 3-1 and a pop out from Zach Gibbons on the infield.
Gibbons hadn't missed many.
No, and he hasn't missed any up in the zone. See where it is? That's a ball, yes, but that's what pitch he has been raking all series long.
Could have been a series-changing pitch there. Ball 4. Beckwith may be forced to throw a little bit, come into the game. Instead, 1 man down for J.J. Matajevic. His nightmare started in the first inning when he couldn't get a bunt down with 2 strikes, and he struck out. 3 strikeouts and a pop-out. Another pop-up. 1 out away from forcing a do-or-die tomorrow night. Ryan Aguilar having a good College World Series. Walked, flew out, fielder's choice, and a single scored a run. Last chance for Arizona. Good pitch, called strike 1.
Outfield playing very, very deep. No doubles. All of a sudden, Ryan Cook yelling at the infielders. He'll be moving back in a second, saying no doubles. Anything over your head, hustle back. Try to catch it.
Well, credit Bobby Holmes, too, because it did not look like he had his good stuff in the 8th inning. Now, 3-1 pitch that Gibbons has handled a lot. He pops up. Got a little cutter that gets in on the hands of Matajevic.
Good pitch, and it's now down to a strike for Holmes and Costal. If in fact we do play tomorrow night, it will be the 17th game at this year's College World Series, which will be the first time we've played 17 games in a single College World Series. Outfield shifts from right to left in center and left. 1-2. 2-2. trying to record the moment which would be the biggest win in Coastal Carolina baseball history. He got it. Caught it first, and we will have a game to decide it all tomorrow night. They did it for Gilly, their head coach, Gary Gilmore. Beckwith didn't have to throw a pitch. You know he's already thinking about tomorrow night. And you cannot say enough about the closer, Mike Morrison, who gutted it out tonight with 103 pitches. The closer. Anthony Marks is ready to play tomorrow night's game right now. 3 for 4, 2 RBIs in a run. He is our Capital One player of the game. And the Chanticleers have a chance to do something Wednesday, which 20 years ago only one guy I think really believed would be possible, and that's Gary Gilmore.
And how about the way they did it tonight? That guy right in the middle of it. They go into the 8th inning. Coastal had 5 hits in the game. They got 5 hits in the 8th inning. Anthony Marks got it started leadoff single. He would come around to score, and then the middle of the lineup, which had been fairly quiet, 3, 4, 5, 6, all had hits in a row. Led to 3 Coastal runs and a win to even this series up, Eddie.
Talk about being in the comfort zone. Coastal Carolina, the lineup is just set up right the way they like it. You put Marks at the top. Gary Gilmore, the pitching came through. The man they needed with the ball. Kaylee, you have him with you.
Well, Mike, it's something out of a storybook. The closer comes in as the starter. You throw more pitches than ever before and strike out more guys than ever before. Where did you draw the motivation for this performance?
I just didn't want my career to end here, man. You see these people up here and all this too. This place is just phenomenal. Y'all saw me get emotional out there on the mountain, big baby, but it was just give him everything I had. I told Coach Gilmore I was going to give you everything I had, and I told Bobby I'm going to give it every bit I got, and he's going to come get it, and it worked out, man. I want to say hi to my mom and my dad back home. I love you guys so much, and my sweet sister Sarah Breeze couldn't make it. I love you, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
You guys have all talked about playing for Coach Gilmore. What does it mean to take him to the national championship final game?
Oh, it's special. It is. He was freaking out those last couple innings, so well, let's see if he can get some rest tonight, and then we got the dude on the mountain tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
We will. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, so I appreciate it.
And that's Mike Morrison, the dude he's talking about. Andrew Beckwith, who's been great. We'll see if Arizona's able to throw their ace, Nathan Bannister, or if an elbow injury will prevent him from going. If so, they still have Bobby Dahlbeck, who's been as good as anybody at the College World Series. It should be outstanding tomorrow night at 8 Eastern Time. Join us then for Game 3. ESPNU has all the post-game coverage. You'll be able to hear from the principals tonight. And again, we'll see you tomorrow night, 8 Eastern Time. ESPN or ESPN3 post-game trophy ceremony as well tomorrow night. For Kyle and Eduardo, Kaylee and Alex, can't wait for tomorrow night. So long from the College World Series. I'm Carl Ravitch, here, SportsCenter.